across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Will be in prison for at least 52 years and probably for life. Well, tonight, he is no longer in prison. He's now in Broadmoor Mental Hospital. Now, I just want to be clear on a couple of things. First and foremost, I want to say to you that he was not convicted he was not found to be mentally incapable at the time of his trial. His defence did not say he was suffering from mental health problems. The CPS, the police, the Crown, all of these people, none of them said that Axel Rudakubana was mentally ill. He was put into prison, and then he created, we believe, some prison napalm, which, I mean, apparently you put some water and sugar into a kettle, boil it up, and it becomes very hot and very sticky, and it sticks to your face. What has happened tonight is that we have decided as a country through the Ministry of Justice that he was not somebody who could be managed in a normal prison, therefore he has to go to Broadmoor. Now, I'm going to say this to you. I do not believe that Axel Rudakubana will be in prison for 52 years. And I know that now the cost of keeping him has gone from £60,000 a year to £300,000 a year. He will get the best of the best in terms of legal, because all of these ghouls, all of these human rights lawyers, all of these psychologists, psychiatrists, and all these people, all on the taxpayer's expense, will suddenly come to his aid and attempt to get him released or moved or whatever. We saw this with Ian Brady, who just spent the rest of his life hounding the victims' families from inside a prison cell.
And the Yorkshire Ripper as
and
well.
a mental health.
Peter Sutcliffe as
and
well.
the Yorkshire Ripper as well. We've seen it before. This is precisely what Axel Rudakubana is going to do. And we're not just going to indulge him. We're going to pay 3 million, 5 million, 10 million over the next 50 years to indulge him time after time after time. Do you know what? If he can't be managed properly in Broadmoor, I'd just stick him in a room and poke food through the letterbox. That's easy. No problem as far as I'm concerned. The Americans have got it right with the ADL, what is it, ADL Supermax, whatever it's called, the Rockies Alcatraz. The reality is they just said, what happens in that place, apparently, so I've been told, is you get your prison cell and the shower turns on automatically for 10 minutes a day. And if you're under it, you wash. And if you're not under it, you don't wash. Then it turns off after 10 minutes. The toilet flushes twice a day so that you can't take the handle off or cause any trouble. When you want to go for your exercise, the door automatically opens and there's a corridor. You may walk down the corridor and go for your exercise, or you may sit in your cell. All the doors will be open, you will see nobody. And then, of course, the doors will start to close, and if you attempt to not go back in your cell, obviously there will be some intervention. When you look in your window, you can look up at the sky, but you can't look at the rest of the building, so you don't know where you are inside the building. That is what we should do. That's what we should do. Don't bother with all the books and the telly. Just leave him there. Axel Rudakubana will not be able to constantly harass his victims from... It's the ADX Supermax, that's right. Axel Rudakubana will not be able to harass his victims from inside the four walls of the prison because he'll have no phone, he'll have no telly, he'll have no books, he'll have no friends, he'll have nobody to talk to for 50 years. And I would suggest to you that anyone who says that punishment should fit the crime would be keen on that one. Anyway, somebody who's been in prison who is somebody who had quite a good track record and was quite a respected person until he very, very, very foolishly lied on a document attempting to raise capital for an investment that he was working on. And, of course, when it all went wrong, he got convicted of fraud. But nonetheless, he's a former Brexit campaigner and a Conservative. And his name
that's all right, then.
his name's David Shipley. But, David, we like to warm people up when we say that you've been in prison, just to explain that not that you didn't deserve to go to prison, but a little bit of the background I think is helpful for our viewers and listeners. What is your view on Rudakubana?
Well, yeah, I mean, I do think he's playing the system, not just from what the lawyers representing the families have said, but actually having spoken to people who, have been in and around the officers responsible for him, they don't think there's anything wrong with his mental health. Apparently, he's perfectly normal, and then turns it on for the psychiatrist. So I don't think it's real.
It's very easy to turn it on, isn't it? A bit like the PI getting your PIP payments. You find out what you need to say, and then the sort of infiltrated psychiatrists that are there are like, "Oh yeah, of course he's in a bad way." They know how to play the system, and they know how to get in there, and that's basically what happens. And they won't take the risk of not doing it. And the worst thing is they didn't. Well, not the worst thing, but they didn't tell the parents of the victims that this had happened. And he now becomes a patient rather than a prisoner.
Yeah, and he's got a massive track record of manipulating healthcare staff, police. At one point, the police came around to his house and they were convinced he was preparing to commit murder. He had the method and the motive and the means, and he talked them out of arresting him. He's a really manipulative, dangerous young man. And I think there's an argument for the Supermax route, because actually the problem is when you have very dangerous men like this in prison who've got nothing to lose because they're going to spend their lives in jail, they make it much more dangerous for the staff, and actually they make it harder to rehabilitate other men who might have a hope of rehabilitation in those jails because the prison just becomes so violent. But frankly, I just think what we really should do is just lawfully hang men like this. There's no question of his guilt. He was caught at the scene.
But he was a child at the time. He would have been 17, so they wouldn't have hanged him, would they?
I don't think the fact that someone was 9 days shy of their 18th birthday when they hacked 3 girls.
Yeah, in America they say if you're under 18, if the crime is bad enough like an adult, then you can be treated it. They've executed people of 15, 16. I'm not sure about the ethic.
I don't see. Look, there's absolute certainty of guilt, a horrible sadistic crime, no chance of rehabilitation.
But there is an interesting thing, David, that Jacob Rees-Mogg pointed out the other day, well, he gave the statistic. I mean, the first person on this channel to say it was Asher, and Asher pointed out on multiple occasions that that when the death penalty disappeared, we were told, apparently, I wasn't around at the time, that life would mean life. A life sentence now, on average, is 7 years. A life sentence for murder, on average, is 14 years in prison. Now, a life sentence, I understand, means that you will be constantly under probation for the rest of your life. But in terms of the actual amount of time in prison, it's 7 years or 14 years, depending on whether it's a life sentence for murder or not. I'll tell you what I'm going to say, David. I think Axel Rudakubana will be released. I think that what will happen is that over the years, millions will be spent on lawyers trying to argue this and argue that, and in the end they'll find a reason to let him out.
I think Rudakubana and men like him will be resentenced in the 2030s by a future government, and we'll put him to death.
Do you?
I do, yeah. I think realistically we have to start getting real about. We have people like Rudakubana, people like Wayne Couzens. These men are wicked beyond measure. There's no value in keeping them alive, and the opportunity cost of spending 15 million quid we're going to spend on Rudakubana if he stays in Broadmoor for his whole life.
But you don't believe that retrospectively they're going to hang people, do you? I don't believe they do. I agree it would be good, but I don't think they'd ever do that, would they?
I mean, let's be clear, Rupert Lowe would.
Well, yeah.
I think Parliament can do what it wants to. When we get a Parliament of MPs who are willing to do what is right for the country, I think, of course, we'll re-sentence people like this.
I mean, when you think about it, and you think that Axel Rudakubana's victims will have got some form of compensation, not very much, but Axel Rudakubana gets £15 million worth of mental health treatment, and what is the result? It's not like we go, oh, and then he went on to invent a medical isotope that cured cancer. He will go on. All he is just a waste of oxygen.
And I think it's what we could do with that money, right? What could we do with 15 million quid spent in the healthcare system, or even spent in the prison system on prisoners who've got a hope of rehabilitation?
Yeah, I agree with that.
There's so much good we could do with that money, instead of wasting it on a man who we know is appallingly evil, killed in a horrible sadistic way. We know he's guilty and he's never going to be rehabilitated. What's the point? It's a waste of everything.
And now he'll be allowed to sort of wear. I remember with Ronnie Cray, he went to Broadmoor. You're allowed to wear your normal clothes. They treat you as a patient. Is that what will happen with him? Rather than a prisoner who'll wear normal clothes, live a relatively normal life, obviously in Broadmoor, but it's a nice existence. You're not a prisoner anymore, effectively.
I mean, Broadmoor is still a place where they put some very, very dangerous men, but it's definitely better than the high security long-term estate, not least because child killers like Rudakubana get targeted, so he won't be under constant fear of
Will he be able to go out? He won't have a cell, will he? Will a better food? You're treated better, aren't you?
Yeah, the food is better. There's more facilities. He will still be locked in his room. He's not going to have freedom to wander around. But it's absolutely a better environment than a Frankland or a Belmarsh as a child killer. Absolutely.
And what do you think about, there's a lot of rumours, well, not rumours, that some prisons have been taken over by Islamists, and you basically have to convert to Islam to be in their gang and be looked after. Maybe that's another argument for isolating people, because they're going to get...
This isn't a rumour, this is well established. So Jonathan Hall, KC, who's the government's independent expert on anti-terrorism legislation and state threats, wrote about this in 2022. He went into huge amounts of detail about the way that certain prisons' wings have been taken over by Islamist gangs. They have wing emirs that the staff defer to. This is a huge problem across the
wing emir?
This is the term used in Jonathan Hall's report. Yeah, he talks about that these wing emirs, essentially a sort of senior Muslim man on the wing who the prison staff defer to, and he kind of runs the
wing. It's like the community policing thing again in prison, isn't it? We let them handle their own problems.
Exactly right. So it's a two-tier prison system.
It is, yeah. The only real substantive gangs in the prison system are the Muslim gangs, Scouse gangs, and then you get some Albanian groups. There's not.
So
really...
you've got to join one of them. I mean, you've either got to be a Scouse, Albanian.
You can't generally join the Scouse gangs. I think.
No, I couldn't be a Scouse. No.
I reckon I could, mate.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah,
you're a bit Scouser, yeah.
Yeah, I went to school in Liverpool. No, I reckon I went to school in Liverpool.
You'd be all right then. I'd have to be.
Andy Burnham could join it.
I'd have to become an Islamist.
Andy Burnham could join. It worries me because Sammy Samworth, who you see on YouTube, he is a former prison officer at Strangeways. Very much our sort of person in terms of his belief in punishment for offenders. But he says that that when a real wrong 'un comes into prison, somebody who's murdered 5 kids or something like that, then the mental health workers, the psychologists, the psychiatrists, the lawyers, the human rights lawyers, all of these people will gravitate towards these people, and they're just more interested in them than they are in dealing with, the person that could actually get a decent job if they turned their life round and came out of prison. They're not interested in them. They're not bothered.
You see this in academia as well. Like, a lot of criminology academics really want to focus on researching, men who've committed the worst crimes. And actually, you're absolutely right. They're probably not functionally capable of rehabilitation. What we should be focusing on is men in for relatively short sentences because they've dealt drugs, done a fraud, committed property crimes, who actually have a chance of turning our lives around. That's actually where
I mean, look, let's be clear. What's happened to you is an unmitigated disaster in your life to have gone to prison.
It's only self-inflicted, though, right? It happened to me because I did something stupid and dishonest, and I deserve to be punished for that.
Has it changed your life round?
I was going to ask, did they help you?
Has it helped you in a positive way, going to prison? Have you turned it round and it's actually become a positive?
Yeah, in a funny way it did, because I was in during COVID, so I had a lot of, we were banged up for 23
hours. We were all banged up during COVID.
Well, yes, so sort of banged up for 24 hours a day, staring at the ceiling, and I just had a huge amount of time to think about the choices I'd made, what I'd done to put myself in prison. I guess I had to really kind of grapple with that and decide what kind of man I wanted to be after prison.
What was the reason? Was it just plain you just needed some money basically, and you thought this is easy?
No, it's even more stupid than that. So it wasn't actually about greed, right? So I didn't get any money from it. I invested in the company, they invested, and the money got spent on the office premises and staff salaries and that sort of thing. I lied because I couldn't stand the thought of losing face. I wanted them to think that I was as good as they thought I was. I wanted them to think I'd made it. It was just pathetic, right? Such a insecure male.
It doesn't sound like it deserves a prison sentence when you think about people getting away with it these days.
Well, no.
Crimes.
Well, hang on. I mean, one thing that does worry me about fraud is real people get hurt a lot, and we are quite blasé towards it. I mean, I had a very good friend of mine who was involved in mortgage fraud. He remains a very good friend of mine, but I did support his incarceration. The reason is because I just thought that ultimately the bank has lost a fortune because of his dishonesty.
Yeah, I said I think that I know that what I did was stupid and dishonest, and I think I deserve to be punished for it. I think I think what did stick in my throat a bit when I was in prison, I'd sort of meet men who'd done really sort of violent or like sexually violent things to people who were serving shorter sentences than I was. And I thought that was wrong. I thought their sentence should probably be more.
Well, you see that with Lucy Connolly, don't you? And you see rapists getting let out, and then obviously they appeal to some, ridiculous.
And one final thing. Let's just tell ourselves something that's interesting. We are talking about reducing the amount of time that people spend in prison. From half their sentence to a third of their sentence. It's not automatic, but it's virtually automatic. You get out after half, now you get out after a third. What about the 10,500 foreign criminals in British prisons? There are 2,000 British nationals in foreign prisons, so I'm happy to take them back, by the way. I think that we should deal with our own criminals, and I think you break up criminal networks by deporting people, so I think that's all a good thing, and we should play our part in that. The top three places are Albania, Poland and Romania. That accounts for 3,000 people. So if we just did a deal with those countries, we'd be able to get rid of 3,000 people. Isn't it time to start considering this?
Yeah, I think we should accelerate. I mean, we do deport about 4,500 foreign nationals a year. Most of them choose to go home, basically. They're offered like a scheme where they get sent back and they can serve their sentence back in their home country. But yeah, the problem with Albanians particularly is that essentially almost all Albanians who come to the UK come to do crime, which is why they're so massively overrepresented.
We had about 5% of the male population of Albania.
Yeah, they're massively overrepresented.
Albania, let me tell you something, Albania is no longer a majority Muslim country. It's actually now, whilst Islam is now the largest religion in Albania, there's been so many Albanians that have come to the UK, it is no longer a majority Muslim country. It's actually, I think, the first country in Europe since the defeat of the Islamic Crusades where the Muslim population has fallen to below the majority.
Anyway, David, we've got to head off to the break. Thanks for joining us. That's
always
David.
A pleasure, guys.
Thanks, David. David Shipley, prison reform campaigner. Next, we're going to talk about this case. We're going to talk to Dr. Raj Basood, consultant psychiatrist, about Rudakubana and whether he's putting it on and playing a fast one. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Yes, this is Talk, and I guess we're still talking about Axel Rudakubana and the fact that he is tonight in Broadmoor. The Crown Prosecution Service said that he would be in prison for 52 years and probably for the rest of his life. That lasts about 18 months, and no, it's more like 2 years. But we've got Dr. Raj Basood, who all of you will remember from Good Morning, this morning rather, who has been a bit of a legend over the years. So, Dr. Raj, look, just to be very clear, how does this process work with assessing who should be in prison and who should be in a mental health facility? Because I know about the fact that they have mental health evaluations in the court, but that is not why he's in Broadmoor. Can you shed any light on this for those of us that are not in the medical profession?
Yeah, well, obviously, as a consultant psychiatrist who's been in forensic secure units and worked in those places and been to Broadmoor, visited people in prisons, I'm well aware of the fact that there's stories about the idea that this man has manipulated the system.
Yes.
And as a result, taken advantage of it. Now, it is absolutely the case that in psychiatry, unlike any other branch of medicine, there is no blood test, there is no X-ray, there is no brain scan. The only way you make the diagnosis is by what the patient says to you, observing their behavior, and what informants, people who know the patient well, tell you. So obviously, the system is ripe for manipulation if a clever patient has read what the symptoms are in a textbook. And so far, from what I can read, some of the psychiatrists who viewed this man during the court process claimed that he was trying to manipulate them, that sometimes his list of symptoms of various psychiatric disorders was too perfect. He clearly got them from a textbook. But what is the puzzle here, in my opinion, is that if he was such a clever manipulator, how come he ended up in prison in the first place, was sentenced to prison, okay? Because if he was a clever manipulator, the time to do the manipulation is in court before you get sentenced. And if you're clever, you may even get off and not be found guilty at all. But to bring in a manipulation now after you're in prison only means that all that happens is the prison people say, we can't cope with him. They're a bit worried. They're worried about risks. They're worried about suicides on their watch. They've transferred him. And of course, we all know that Britain is full of people just trying to cover themselves rather than make brave decisions. So maybe there's a kind of covering one's arse, if I can put it that way.
Well, it's been captured. I mean, it's probably like your profession. I know you've been doing it many years, but your profession has probably been captured. It's full of lefties who've been in the university and they're all caring and happy and go, oh, no, he said this and I believe him. And you know what I mean? It's that sort of thing. And we saw it, they said, with Peter Sutcliffe, he tried it on, you know, but it's easy to try it on. And what do you think? You're obviously been in the trade about 30, 40 years. What do you think of people who've been in like 10, 20 years? They're going to be a different breed, aren't they?
Yeah, well, my point, though, is if you're going to try to manipulate, don't manipulate after you've been sentenced to prison, because the best that can happen is you get transferred.
I think he was so full of evil at that. He just wanted to kill it. And then, he you know, when he got settled in, that's when he came up with his plan.
Okay, but the best that could happen, and I know the papers have gone big on this, in that somehow Broadmoor is some kind of like holiday camp. It's not. It's definitely probably a bit better than being in prison, but it's not a great place to be. And
but
all
you're
that
a patient.
Will happen,
you're not a prisoner anymore. You become a patient.
And equally, Dr. Raj, if I was in, do you know what? I'm just going to say a complete shithole for 50 years. Being in less of a shithole for 50 years, I'd be quite keen on, right? It's not like you and me saying, oh God, you know, I've not done the dishes, this is terrible. It's like saying I have to live in this awful place for 50 years, and that place is a bit better.
And they treat you much better. They won't call you by your number, you know, they'll call you by your name, things like that. It's a lot better than prison, isn't it?
Well, okay, I follow that argument, but the problem is that the doctors there will assess this person, and in my experience, they will offer treatment, and they will transfer him back to prison sooner or later. He will not stay in hospital.
Is that right?
Yeah, he will have to serve the 52 years when he's fixed in prison, apparently. That's what they say, yeah.
Yeah, so I think this idea that somehow he's pulled the wool over the eyes of everyone and somehow he's duped the system, I'm not buying so much.
Can I ask you this question? And this, do you know what? You might find this a stupid, offensive, ridiculous question, given your medical background, but who cares if he's mentally ill, right? I mean, I would care if my next-door neighbour, you know, who's trying to bring up children as a single parent, had a mental health episode, I would be extremely concerned and extremely keen for the NHS to look after her and help her and give her as much support as possible and bring in an expert like you. You know, with him, who cares if he's mentally ill?
Yeah, and you can be mentally ill and evil, can't you?
I
mean,
who cares if he's a dribbling idiot? Just leave him in the cell. It's not like, and I made this point to Dr. David Shipley, it's not like we're going to say at the end of this, well, you know, in fairness to him, when we fixed him, he founded a charity and raised £8 million for children in need. We're not going to say that. We're just going to say, this is an evil scumbag who we've now attempted to treat. I mean, it doesn't matter. What if he lost both legs due to diabetes?
And he knew he was doing wrong.
What difference would it make?
You know what I mean? Even if you are mentally, impaired, you still know you're doing wrong. Like that Calicaine, he knew he was doing wrong. You try and hide the things you're doing. So what's the line there between getting sentenced to Broadmoor and prison?
Well, you're making a good argument because the majority of people in Britain today, whether we like it or not, are in favour of capital punishment. So the majority of people would say this person should have been executed. Okay, yeah. That's what the majority of public opinion would be. So given that view, they would say, why are we bothering to look after him? And I understand that argument. I'm going to make a point that's going to be very annoying to both of you, okay,
sure,
which is that it remains mysterious why this man did what he did, okay? And I believe that one of the best ways you stop it happening in the future is studying people like this to try and understand what happened.
Could he have been born evil?
Although,
yeah, but let me just respond to that before you answer Ash's question. I mean, at a cost of £15 million for just the treatment, if he stays there for the rest of his life, is it worth the 15 million? Because I mean, because look, this is where I'm going to annoy you, and we're getting into this now. It's getting good, I suspect what you said is not. So your primary motivation is not that you want to stop it happening again. I think your primary motivation will be, as an academic, it is interesting to know why he did it. And so whilst clearly you are somebody who protects society, that's the nature of your job, you also have an academic interest in it.
Well, you're making a very good point. There's an industry out there of academics and clinicians who prefer for people like this to be in the system because obviously there's a sense in which they get jobs as a result of it. I can see that point. However, I still come back to the fact this is an awful case. But one of the things that makes it awful is it remains mysterious as to exactly why he did what he did, which is why the word evil has been wheeled out, because it's inexplicable.
Well, on that photograph, the photograph where he's trying to look evil, I mean, do you have any hunches? Obviously, you must have looked into the case a bit. What is your hunch on it?
Well, he tries to manipulate people, but he manipulates really badly. You know, I think you could say he's almost a low IQ manipulator.
Well, low IQ but evil. Do you know what I mean? The two can be.
I mean, it's good. I mean, in fairness,
at that point.
In fairness, it's going to be quite hard to manipulate somebody like you, simply because if I was to go to a university and get an academic textbook and read the whole thing like a first-year undergraduate would, it's still going to be quite hard to persuade you. I'm telling the truth. And so, you know, maybe he is not as bad a manipulator as possible. Maybe the standard's just a bit higher.
Well, you're making a good point. There's good psychiatrists, there's bad psychiatrists. There's a famous case of a serial killer in the US who decided to pretend to have multiple personality disorder as a way of trying to evade the criminal justice system. And so he generated another personality in the consultation with the psychiatrist. It was a British psychiatrist, actually. I won't say his name. But the British psychiatrist said, oh, it's very interesting. You've got two personalities, have you, running around inside your head? And the client, the prisoner, said yes. And the psychiatrist said, you know, it's very odd because everyone with multiple personality disorder has 3 personalities, not 2. And the guy immediately generated a third, right? So he was trapped.
Oh, I've just remembered Eleanor.
He was trapped by that. Okay, so my point is smart psychiatrists cannot be outwitted, no matter how smart the patient.
The Yorkshire Ripper got sent, I think, from Broadmoor back to prison, didn't he, in the end? Because they did decide that he was not mental anymore, not mentally ill.
Well, he said he was hearing voices, explained why he, you know, crushed the skull with a claw hammer of prostitutes. And again, it remains a very controversial case because he ended up in prison first, but then it appeared that he was so mentally ill that he got transferred to a special hospital.
But I mean, what is the? I mean, you could look at him and say he's evil, but he is probably mentally ill as well. So where do you put that line? Because obviously, people who do that sort of thing, there's something wrong with them anyway. But they still know what they're doing. So what is the line that you draw?
The other thing is that to be in hospital and receive treatment, you have to consent to treatment, okay? And that means you have to consent to things like therapy, spending hours every day talking to people about stuff. And generally speaking, most people who are swinging the lead can't put up with that. Sooner or later, they crack because it gets tedious receiving treatment when you don't need treatment. And also, you have to take drugs with side effects and stuff, you know? So generally speaking, people can only swing the lead if they're in court trying to get off, like the serial killer example, and be trying to send to hospital hospital and not be sentenced to prison. Once you end up in prison, your ability to manipulate the system is very limited.
I've got a question for you. I was watching a programme on YouTube the other day about child abuse, and basically one of the police officers in that thing said, I was really passionate about helping to solve child abuse cases, because he said, it strikes me that if there was no child abuse in the world, there would be virtually no crime, because a lot of things is linked to poverty. A lot of things are linked to psychological problems. I mean, I guess in the context of that, I'm going to ask you a very simple question. Does evil exist, or is it all just shades of mental illness?
Well, the trouble with the word evil is it's too catch-all a phrase. I'll make a distinction between two forms of evil where we use clinical terms. You use the word evil. We would use the word sadist for some forms of evil, and we'd also use the word psychopath for other forms. But there is a distinct difference. Sadists enjoy inflicting pain. They enjoy killing people, right? Psychopaths kill people because you're getting in the way of something they want. You're getting in the way because, let's say, you're guarding the money that they're after, or let's say they want sex with someone, and that person's getting in the way because they're refusing, and they end up dead as a result because the psychopath has decided they're getting in the way. There's a distinct difference between sadism and psychopathy.
But he sounded like a sadist then in this case, doesn't he?
Yes, I agree. I agree. But there's a difference. That's the point I made.
The easy way to tell the difference, of course, is if the victim cries out, a psychopath will not care, whereas a sadist will enjoy it.
Yes, absolutely. Good point. Very good. You make a very good psychiatrist.
About the fact, right, this is quite controversial, but he's from Rwanda. If you come from, say, a place where it's pretty lawless, and so genetically the DNA, only the most violent will go to the next generation, because the ones that aren't violent won't survive. So in lawless societies, you know, and we saw what happened in Rwanda. Is there certain cultural things where, you know, only the toughest and most vicious will survive, and therefore the population is much more dangerous as a whole, just generally?
Well, you're making an excellent point. We don't have to go as far as Rwanda. If you go to the top boards of some of the top companies in Britain and the US, it's populated by psychopaths. They're just functional psychopaths.
But they're not murdering psychopaths.
Well, if you go to some of the armies in the world, people who are in an army as soldiers, some of those people are functioning psychopaths as well. They just found a niche whereby they can do what they do, and actually it's acceptable in certain situations.
Yeah, but isn't it inherited? So my point is that if you're from a lawless society, the population, you know, will only come from the craziest, most violent fathers who may have multiple wives, and therefore you will end up... It's an inherited thing, isn't it? A violent male will probably produce more violent children because it's in the DNA, isn't it? I mean, if you look at these fox experiments they did in Russia in the 1950s, where they got the cute foxes, and you know that experiment, and so this is what happens in societies that are lawless.
Well, you're making an excellent point. Where given a lot of these things, sadism and psychopathy have a genetic basis. Where did the genes come from? How come they've survived? In tough ancestral environments that we evolved to survive in, where it was the top man in the tribe who was the most murderous. Okay, the Genghis Khans of society.
Well, Henry VIII and the kings in this country, you know, hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, but you know that Genghis Khan's genes have been found in something like 8% of the population in Asia.
1 in 4 apparently of the Chinese are a direct descendant of Genghis Khan. Which shows again why it might have an evolutionary purpose. Why, therefore, there's a sense in which psychopaths, from that in terms of violence and therefore controlling women, passing on your genes. Yeah, it makes sense evolutionary.
I don't dispute that point. I still come back to the fact, though, although I agree with you, there's an industry around studying people, I still think the very fact we're having a debate right now about what was the cause of this thing means it would be useful to have an informed debate and therefore study people like this a bit more in a clinical environment.
Do they not do that with this guy? I mean, this surely would be useful to study these people.
Yeah, but you're more likely to be able to study them in a hospital environment than in a prison environment. But you can study them in a prison environment as well.
Well, is this what will happen now with Rudakubana? Will he be will his papers and research be released to people like you, experts in the field?
Yeah, it's certainly possible, but certainly one of the advantages, if I can use the word, of him being in a hospital is they can do tests, they can do brain scans and stuff. And when you start doing brain scans, even if you don't find something which suggests a mental illness, you may find a different brain. He may have a different kind of brain to the rest of us, and that begins to give us clues where we might be able to pick up this thing before it turns into this horrendous thing that it did turn into. So that's why it's worth studying, would be my argument.
And is it on the increase generally in British society, these sort of attacks and psychopathy?
I don't think there's any evidence it's on the increase. I think that one of the places where obviously it's much more prevalent is the USA because of the prevalence of guns. So one of the questions is, going back to the important point you made, how important is environment? In an environment where there's lots of access to weapons, like in the US, maybe a lot of people are more likely to come to the surface.
Yeah.
Oh, we've lost him.
As mass killers. And maybe there's some mass killers, a lot more in Britain, lurking beneath the surface.
Oh, we're just losing you there. Anyway, look,
you've lost me, have you?
No, we've got you again now. Just went funny. Sounded like you were panting. But I think it was just a computer.
He was just enjoying the show.
Yeah, he was just enjoying.
He was just enjoying seeing us.
Anyway, look, do you remember me from like about 25 years ago? You used to come on the Sean Bolger show.
I'm alone in a hotel room.
Do you remember me, Raj? Hello, Raj. He's still well,
your voice is very familiar from ringing in.
I used to meet you in Oxford Street. Sean Bolger show used to come on. Do you remember back in the old days?
No.
I've stunned him into silence.
Yes. Yeah.
You do, yeah. Yeah. Well, nice to see you, man. It's nice to see you. Anyway, that is Dr. Raj Prasad.
Well, nice to see you doing so well.
Yeah, well, all right. Yeah, I can't afford a haircut, but I'm getting there. I like your hat anyway. That's Dr. Raj Prasad. He's consultant psychiatrist there talking about Rudakubana and the whole, you know, it's a confusing... You can see how it would be easy to fool them, can't you? You can see how it would be easy to fool these, especially younger ones. I just
think that what we could do is strap him down, then just experiment on him as much as you want for about 2 or 3 months, and then just give him a lethal injection.
That sounded like what Raj wanted.
No,
yeah,
I'd be happy
it's
with
talk
that.
with Andre Nash and Danielle Nichol, former of this parish. She's come back to visit us and tell us what's going on in her life, and we'll be with Danielle hopefully if she gets up the stairs in those high heels after this.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Yes, this is Talk, and Danielle Nichols is coming on the show just in a couple of moments. We've been told that she's on
the 12th floor at the moment. She's
coming live via telephone link up. Hello, Alan. Yeah. He's checked in and he's had the minibar. Anyone remember Alan Partridge? OK, look, I want to know what you think about Axel Rudakubana. We had 2 interesting people. Dr. Raj says that we should study him, and David Shipley says we should execute him. I suspect I know which way you're going to go. 0344 499 1000. Actually made an interesting point, actually.
Did I?
And I thought that this was amazing. This idea, how have we domesticated as a species? And it's apparently because some generations, 10% of the male population were executed, and we've got rid in Britain of all of our feral nutter genes many, many years ago. And what's happened is the genetics of good people have come to the fore. Yeah. Well, that's not true around the world, is it? I mean, in a lot of places, it's the genetics of bad people that come. Of course, this comes on to an issue that's been really controversial over the years, eugenics, as Ricky Gervais said. Adolf Hitler went way too far with it, lol. But actually, the idea that you can breed in poor genetics and breed out poor genetics, I think is an interesting point, Asha.
Well, I mean, there's no doubt that, you know, your DNA does pass on, and if you live in a violent society, a lawless society where the strong survive, the most violent are the ones that will pass on their genes. That's just how it works. And, you know, in countries where you have the rule of law, you know, that anyone can get through who isn't violent. Anyway, look, a call has flooded in. Thomas in Gloucester, if you want to join Thomas, 03444 1000. Thomas?
Hello, guys. How are you?
Well, all right, man. How's you, Thomas? What you do?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, big fan. Andre, I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
I'm an Irish man living in the UK for the last 35 years.
How did that happen?
It's illegal immigrant.
Right.
You can't be an illegal
No,
immigrant.
yeah, it's legal to come from Ireland. You're all right. Excuses, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. But I'm delighted to be on the show. I just feel very strongly about something, and I've been watching English politics for years. And I come from a part of Ireland where nationalism was very strong in my family. But nationalism wasn't all about terrorism. Nationalism about looking after your country and getting your country right first.
Yeah.
And, you know, what I see the problem in the UK right now is, well, England especially, but certainly in Britain, is that nationalism seems to be a very bad word.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, ever since the Second World War, it's been, you know, because of Hitler. But nationalism doesn't mean you have to be a Nazi, does it? That's the thing.
You know, I'm far from a Nazi, and I've got, I've got a really good background. I've been in construction. I've employed thousands of men over the last 30 years, and I'm talking about thousands of men from all cultures.
Yeah.
All right, and they were only ever filtered out because if they can do the work, they were kept. If they couldn't do the work, they were gone. Yeah. You know, but from a nationalism perspective, which I think is very important for England and the UK right now, is that, you know, I think what Burnham is doing, and I can see it. He's only in power for a couple of days, and he's splitting the country in half.
How?
Now, the opposite, number 10 Downing Street, number 10 North. Just give me a break here. Listen, hear me out. No, hear me out.
Okay.
The opposite to nationalism is fractionalism. And if you guys can't see what he's doing here, he wants to fractionalize the country. And he started 5 days, he split the country in half, geographically, mentally.
But isn't it really he just can't be bothered going all the way to London to work? So he's effectively working from home?
No. The man can take a private jet and fly to London.
Well, he can't do it. He can't take a private jet twice a week just to get to and from home.
Of course he can. Why can't he?
Because it would play badly in the media.
Everyone else has to go in their cars.
The media are going to report accurately on that. What's he doing right now? What's Andy Burnham doing right now? He's being a private jet to Miami. You don't know what he's doing.
No.
All I'm saying, the big picture here is that this guy is fractionalising the country. He started already 5 days in, north against south. In 5 months' time, it'll be postcode. Listen to what he's saying.
He just seems a bit small time. It seems like we've got a mayor of the UK rather than a prime minister. Do you know what I mean? Talking about bus fares and pubs and stuff like that.
He's going to have mayors all over the UK in 5 months' time.
Yeah.
He knows exactly who's on his side, who's not on his side. And you guys did it 1,000 years ago. Who brought the country? Who made England 1,000 years ago?
William the Conqueror.
Yeah, he's rewinding all this. Please understand what I'm thinking. He's going to rewind all this.
Harold's all right. I mean, he was the actual proper.
Anyway, Thomas, thank you so much. I think it's an interesting point. I have to say, I just think Andy Burnham just can't be bothered going all the way to London to work and wants to work from home. And if you're the Prime Minister, that's quite hard to do. Anyway, more next.
across the UK. On DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Yes, this is Talk, and I've been watching the new TV show by Danielle Nichols and Dean Holden called Holding It Together. They've got an introduction on YouTube and about 4 episodes. It comes out every Sunday morning at 9 a.m, which, believe it or not, I'm up for. And Danielle joins in the studio now.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
So it was quite good fun.
Yes, thank you for letting me on for a start.
Ice baths.
Yes, it's. Do you know what we wanted to do? I wanted it to be family and like real life, but I didn't want it to be staged or shiny or perfect. So it's warts and all. And if you're a bit nosy, it's a little secret look into our life.
Now, can I just ask you this question? How do you lose a ball gown in a car park?
How does that happen? Honestly, so we had. That day, so basically, my husband lost my dress.
Yeah,
and you will know it's genuine because the dress I'm wearing makes me look very fat, which I'm absolutely, looking back on it, I'm like, I absolutely hate it because I would have had different underwear if I'd have known I was going to wear that dress.
Okay, so can we just interrupt? So you are going to a charity about people who've lost babies and children?
Yes. So we're in London.
This is your first time you've ever done it?
Yep, so we're being like ambassadors for the charity, and it's all very serious. It's a sit-down meal, it's beautiful. And Dean comes back from the car park, and I thought he was winding me up for a second, so the cameras didn't get this bit because they were obviously coming up to the room. But we'd left the room on the latch because Dean said, we'll make sure we're dressed and you'll be able to walk in and kind of, it'll be proper behind the scenes. That's how we filmed it all.
Because this is like basically the Osbournes, but it's your life and it's on YouTube.
Yes,
Holden
it's called Holden, Holden, Holden It Together. Right. And I've come on here because I really want everybody...
Well, look at that, I mean...
Trying to get people to YouTube... Yeah, reverse. Trying to get people to YouTube is tricky. So people are watching it, they're catching it on the social, we've got a lot of eyes on it, but I need you all to please subscribe on YouTube. I need to get people to there, and I know people watch this show on YouTube, so they know what they're doing already, and it's called Holden It Together. So if you just put that in, and you'll see it, and then you can click. But basically,
so what you do,
behind the scenes of our life.
What you do now is, if you're on YouTube, you just open up your other YouTube tab or on another browser, and you just put Holding It Together and subscribe right now. But also,
please,
you've got to press the little bell button as well, because that means that they'll send you the new episodes every Sunday.
Yes.
Holden, Holden.
Holden It Together.
Now, do we have a little clippy?
I think we do.
Let's have a look. Press play on the Betamax.
We do kick off quite a lot. We've not actually had a row today yet, so that's a good thing.
I hate my husband. How many arguments? 10 arguments. Is it illegal to go in your garden naked?
What even are the benefits of this?
Can't do sport. I'm carrying some 34 Gs.
If Roy Keane can get a bit of makeup on before he goes on telly, then I'm sure I can.
Are you playing the role of coach and not putting football boots on?
What do you mean playing the role of coach? I am a coach.
Blowing a whistle?
I don't blow a whistle. Hull City going to the Premier League this year.
Come on!
So it's a bit of a mad season.
I actually don't like football.
So he's manager of Hull now, isn't he?
He's the assistant manager of Hull. And they're up in the Prem now. So you know, we're playing with the big boys.
Amazing.
So, well, you've been playing with big boys all your life, haven't you? So let's just be clear.
Yeah.
There are going to be people watching this who think, right, you're married to a footballer who's now turned into a football manager. You are famous from ITV and indeed from doing all sorts of things.
Children's ITV.
And
being on this show.
And your sons are footballers.
She had to have her breasts pushed down. ITV made her squash her breasts because they were too
big.
And 2 of your sons who are old enough for footballers, it's not going to have... This show doesn't have the polish you might expect from a family... Because people are going to assume that your life is going to be all glamour and guest list.
I know.
It's not quite like that, is it?
I wanted people to be nosy, because everyone wants to be nosy, don't you? We all go on house moving sites and see when someone... Oh, Sandra down the road put her house up for sale. Let's have a look. So it's the idea of being nosy, but it was really important that it was real because, as you know, Andre, I like to be... I'm a genuine person. I say it as it is. And I think that we're used to seeing this shiny, like, and the only way that we get anything a bit real and a bit gritty is by going to YouTube. And as well, nowadays, the truth is, look at how we consume our media. It's not like... So basically, we had conversations...
We don't watch terrestrial telly, it's all YouTube now.
Well, we had conversations with actual TV companies. We got very close with a couple of companies, and then one of them was like, oh, no, maybe not, you're not quite the big enough name. And the other company we had some conversations with, but we were like, because this is my family, and as you know, Andre, my children mean, and my husband mean everything to me.
Of course.
So it was crucial that we kept a little bit of creative control. Because I didn't want to just sell
YouTube,
my soul. And also...
Did you want to sell your soul or our soul?
Our soul, exactly.
So are you the producer? So you haven't got a company telling you what to do? This is purely your own production?
This is purely our own production. The strange thing that I will say is that our exec producer was my producer on CITV who gave me my very first job. Now, if that's not weird, I don't know what is.
Well, it's not weird because you know him.
No,
yeah, you
because
just called him up and go, you know, he used to produce me, how do you want to produce?
No, because he was working for an independent company, and they were they wanted a YouTube product, and we genuinely were sat in the pub, we were talking about personal things. I've known him for a very long time. He lived at the end of my street for a while. So 30 years I've known him, and honestly, I pitched it without realising I'd pitched it, and we'd spoke to someone else about doing it, and I'd backed out. So I'd said, I'm not 100% sure about this. This is my family. Do you know what I mean? And we all know how things can be twisted.
Oh, yes.
Do you know what I mean? And cancelled. We all know the cancel culture.
So you see the post-edit and decide if it's going out?
Yeah, so we had conversations, and I wanted to see... And he's very into comedy, and I believe that life generally is quite funny.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with 4 kids and an husband that works in... I work in telly, husband works in football, and I felt like there was something for everyone to relate to. Even my mum's in there.
Well, there's all age groups, isn't there? How old are your kids? How old are they? So they're all in it?
So my eldest is 19, and then 17-year-old, and then 12-year-old and an 8-year-old.
So you've got the whole... And you've got your mother, so you've got all generations covered.
So let me just ask this. Ice bath. So you once said... no, it was once said on our show. Yeah. Don't know if I said it or you said it. It's more likely that I said it, but that sleeping with a woman in the menopause is like... is like living next to a nuclear reactor in a wind tunnel.
Yes.
Right. Now, I don't know which of us said that, but you started the ice bath because of that.
Because, yeah,
now,
so there was...
What is the value of the men doing it?
Right, well, in fact, this is the reason they got onto it. So I'm a bit... You know, I'm a bit of a hippie at heart, right?
Yes, I get that.
So and also I had my son late in life, and I want to be here for him. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be... I've watched my own relatives within my family get quite poorly. I want to be here, and I want to be healthy, right? Great. So that was a decision. So I'm always on these trends, right? If it does no harm...
You love the fads.
Yeah, if it does no harm, then let's give it a go. Yeah. So I started with the S-Pass, but... Andre, sportsmen, that's a big thing to them.
It's
that was an easy sell, that.
Micro injuries after.
Yeah. They have ice baths now. Yeah. All the top teams have ice baths. It's massive.
It stops. It kills your muscles.
To do with
also, it makes your testicles shrink.
It does. And
not permanently.
How do your kids find it now? They're getting on, telly. Do they? Because I suppose both parents are sort of into showbiz. So are they naturals to it? Or
initially. So we had a lot of conversations about this, and it was decided, the truth is, they do kind of stand out anyway, because the dad's in football and the mum's on telly. Yeah. And I'm all over socials and all that lot, and I do things like this, and I'm a little, quite outspoken, a little bit controversial.
You're not outspoken compared to me.
Not compared to... No one's outspoken compared to you, Andre. But basically, they were already in that domain, and then we had a conversation, and the funny thing was, the boys, because the younger children aren't in it that much, because I don't want them to be in it that much.
I get that.
So,
it's all about you.
Well, yeah. And Dean mainly, me and Dean arguing. But the older boys were totally for it. But you've got to remember now. So I've had a little kickback within the family. I'm not going to say too much. But why do you want to do that? Why would you want to do that?
What, jealousy?
But nowadays, everybody's doing self-promotion. That is, you know, if you want to sell sweatshirts, you're gonna have to get on social media. If you want to open a cafe, you're gonna have to get on social media. If you want to be a hairdresser, you're gonna have to everything. You have to be able to adapt to the world that we live in.
Yeah, because everything's now. I mean, I remember. Was it L'Oreal when they said that they were going to come up with this thing called Tribe, where you didn't just buy the product, you were a L'Oreal person, and there were all these parties and all this. Now everything's a tribe, isn't it?
Yeah, I think everything is, and even if I didn't want it to be safe. I don't want it to be outrageous, but I want it to be a little bit edgy and particularly a little bit silly, because I think life is very serious and intense.
Now, look, we're not going to go into the argument with the family, but what was the nature of the concern? Was it your children being exploited? Was it too close to home? Was it the security risk? I mean, I think you'd be hard-pressed to know where your house is based on the filming, but what was it?
I think it was just a little bit of...
it feels... For older people, it feels more...
Yeah. Like, why would you want cameras to be in on your private life?
Yes.
And was that navigated by me? Because you would assume it was, because I have been on camera all my life. So
basically, Dean's mum's unhappy.
Well, she's dead.
Oh, OK.
Oh, Andre, oh. Now, listen, have you got, like, are you having celebrity appearances? Like, is a footballer coming into your house, or, you know, one of the people that you know?
Well, yeah, so we've had a
Dean's
conversation.
mum's happy?
Yeah.
Oh, she's not raised any concern.
I think she'd be all right with it.
She's not raised any concerns.
But, yeah, we're looking at... We wanted to establish it initially just with us and kind of introduce you to us, which is a lot because we're 100 miles an hour, but that's what our life's like, as you know.
Yeah, I get that.
So we wanted to do that, but yes, there will be.
Have you got any, like, old Coronation Street, like Vera Duckworth or someone like that? You know, it'd be great to see that.
It's someone football-related who was very interested, and he is an absolutely enormous name.
Stephen Gerrard, because he was the manager who worked with your husband. No, it's not Stevie G.
We just have to pin this person down. But we had Dean went with the boys and had a coffee, and he was a really really nice bloke, by the way. I've got a football. So fingers crossed.
I've got a football joke.
Go on.
Frankie Boyle said that he believes that Wayne Rooney got married because I do sounds like ooh ooh.
No, I don't.
Wayne Rooney is married because I do sounds like ooh ooh, because he's thick.
No, that's not even good.
No, I do.
Yeah, tumbleweed in it.
Well, Are you sticking with us, though, for the next hour as well?
I am definitely sticking with you.
Are you living up north, then, now?
I'm in Manchester. Yeah, we're in Manchester because...
So you got 10 Downing Street now, the northern version. What do you think of that? Silly, isn't it? Silly, isn't it?
No.
I think it's a good idea.
Do you think I'm not going to like 10 Downing Street in Manchester? I'm from Manchester, mate.
I know, but I thought, you know, you might not like it.
No, the truth is, you know how I feel about politicians. They all we in the same pot, as it goes.
Yeah.
However, out of all of them, come on, am I going to like him?
Well, look, am
I going to like him?
Well, he's a Scouser.
You shouldn't do. We'll talk you out of that during the news. So stay with us, Daniel Nichols here. It's me and Andre with Danielle.
across the UK. On DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Right, this is the paper review with Andre Walker, Asher Gould and Danielle Nichols. Look, I'm watching on YouTube this bloke making a sandwich, right, and he's making a £15...
Surprise, surprise, you are thinking about your stomach, Andre.
£15 sandwich. Listen to the way this man pronounces one of these words.
OK.
Right, you're going to know which word it is. Let's see if we can play this out.
Give me
15 quid from Leeds, wants me to build him any sandwich I want, so I've got a butter bread cake, 4 rashers, a griddled back bacon, 2 90% puerk, herbed sausage meat patties.
Puerk? Hang on.
That's how they say it in Leeds.
You can buy a flat in Leeds.
Listen to this again.
90% puerk, herbed.
Puerk.
It's puerk.
Do you know what, though?
Does he like puerk?
That meat sandwich sounds like something you would definitely order, Andre.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
15 quid in Leeds, that's a week's wages, isn't it, down the farm? 15 quid.
That's an super expensive sandwich. That's why it's
down
full of
London,
puerk.
you wouldn't pay 15 quid.
Yeah, but it is 95% puerk.
You buy a whole pig for that.
95% puerk. Who says that?
There you go. And what about film? They say that as well, don't they? Film.
The Irish say
When I was at my primary school, there was somebody who said, no, you book something in, but you read a book.
A book.
A book.
My grandma used to say book, Luke, kook.
If you're in Leeds, do you say puerk?
One of his grandkids was called Brooke, and he used to call her Brooke.
In Salford, I told you this before. In Salford, there used to be Robert Sunter, the butcher's, and he was called R. Sunter.
Yeah. R.
Sunter. It was famous.
Yeah.
And it was only R. Sunter. Years later.
I know.
People were like,
it's brilliant.
He had to change it.
He did the best rump style.
Mind you, I love this other story. My mate went to school with a kid called Sean Bush. Sean Bush.
Sean Bush.
And the parents just went, never crossed our mind. Never crossed our mind. Sean
M. Bates. There's always an M. Bates, isn't there, master?
What about, I had a friend of mine, and his name was Peter Pipe, but his nickname was Dwayne.
I knew a Rob Kerr, and he had a brother.
Oh, no, he didn't. He didn't.
My mate.
Bend over.
I had a friend called Joe King, and he claimed, I don't believe it, that his brother was called Wayne. That's not true. I don't believe that. I don't believe. 1 second.
Oh, it's very Bart Simpson making phone calls.
The producer reckons he knew somebody called Mike Hunt. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no, don't dump it. I said Mike Hunt.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, right?
Don't keep saying.
And he said he knew someone called Rick O'Shea.
There was Phil McCavity.
Yeah.
What about? Do you remember from That's Life? We could redo That's Life,
really
couldn't we? What about That's Life, where they had Rick Shaw, and Rick Shaw was the head of transport at the Greater London Council.
Wow.
Rick Shaw.
Do you remember? There's that Judge, isn't there? In one of the law lords.
Well, there would be.
What about Neville?
Yeah, that's a bit silly, isn't it? Yeah.
Neville.
Why would you call yourself your son Neville when he's...
I mean, if you get married, I did know a Carol, but that's not her fault. She was a Carol and she married a
that's different.
John Carroll. So she's going to be Carol, isn't she? But Neville, that doesn't make any sense to me.
There's a Japanese footballer called Shuto Mishino, and he's a striker. But I knew PC Lawless, the police officer.
I like it.
But there must be a PC constable somewhere.
Must be. Now he's just playing now.
If you know any funny names, give us a ring, 034.
What about like the name Holden It Together, our YouTube channel, which is out right now. Please
Holden It Together.
Like and subscribe. HOLDEN. Holden It
By the way, what can we look forward to on the show?
You can look forward. This one this week is quite interesting because Dean does something that he keeps. It does behind my back. He manages to keep secret from it, and I honestly.
Oh, so it's behind your back, but it's secret from
I knew nothing about it, and then when I watched the episode, I was literally like, "You did what?"
Who is she?
No, it wasn't. Luckily, it wasn't a she. But yeah,
It was a man.
That's even worse.
It was a man.
He basically breaks something in the house, and I do not know how he managed. And I've literally sat down because they always send us to watch them before they release them, and a few are like time sensitive, like the football World Cup that we did last week.
How did you
but
do?
A few are just, and this is one of the random ones.
But how did you do that though? You had to film that over several weeks, didn't you?
Yes.
And then.
But that was all filmed on a camera phone.
Well, it would have to be.
I know, which was great because we have like one day a month we do a full day of filming, and then in between we go into studio to kind of do the pieces where we're sat talking to the camera. But the World Cup one was done all on the camera phone.
Why are you not filming here?
Why don't you want this on it?
Right, so we've got all of them lined up in the diary. They're going to follow me one night going to do my bingo, which I did tonight, my online bingo, and then come in here afterwards.
And you can eat some
hopefully, some poet.
We're
going to hopefully have them follow us to do that.
Is that with the sun?
Yeah, sun bingo and Mecca bingo and Kitty bingo and.
Why are you allowed to tell us it's sun bingo now?
I'm allowed to tell you heart bingo.
All the bingos.
All the bingos, yeah. So I think there's about 12.
A full house.
It's over 12 online bingo sites, all connected to Playtech.
The bra makers.
Has Britain been going crazy?
Yay! Do you know what? I've been really enjoying it, Andre.
I can imagine.
By the time I get to the end, I'm sick of my own voice, but it's fun. Yeah, you should come on. We read out the chat. Everybody gets involved. Absolutely love it. To be honest, at the moment, I'm very lucky that I'm getting to do all this because I'm enjoying it all. But we need to get people to the YouTube because apparently we're getting loads of numbers on TikTok and Instagram and all this stuff. But we need to get you to YouTube. So. That's what we please.
And is it a good? I mean, do people make an income on it? They do all right, don't they? With YouTube?
You can if we can get people there.
Yeah, the big issue, and funnily enough, because I've got a few things that I'm dealing with at the moment. I've not been able to promote the show, but I will do after next week.
Right.
And what you need to do, obviously, starting from zero.
Yeah.
It means to get to, now you get 1,000 views per show now, and it only launched from zero with no promotion. Yeah. That's pretty good, actually.
That's what they said. They said they're quite happy with it, but we need to keep pushing it.
But obviously, what the hope is that the 1,000 people talk to other people. A few people have subscribed tonight. It's a case of chipping away.
Oh, please. If any of you want to do me a favour, I really would love to subscribe.
Don't sound desperate.
No, I am going to sound desperate. Do you know why? Because this is my family and it means a lot to me. And so, yeah, I feel quite personal.
If you want to help Danielle's
I read
family,
the comments, even if you say mean things.
Holding it together to help Danielle's family.
And actually looking at it now, there's 16 videos on there as well. Hang on a second. You've had 21,000 views so far collectively. You'll be able to monetise that soon.
Right, well, that's the hope. Then we can keep doing it.
And then you can buy some Puick.
Puick, yeah. I can buy a 15-quid sandwich in Leeds.
Hey, you've had a number that have gone over 1,000. I think it's a pretty good show, actually. I enjoyed it.
Thank
you. Particularly enjoyed the episode, the one before last, where obviously you're talking about losing the ball gown, but also you're talking about losing a child, which I thought, your idea of having everything in one place, I think that was that.
Yeah.
Because I had the comedy, the stupidity.
Yeah. We do the silly things, but we're also, obviously life has an element of
look at this.
Yes.
The YouTube link is on screen.
Oh, thank you. There we go. That's the YouTube link.
So that is youtube.com/Danny Dean Holden.
Honestly, this is so. You know what I'm like?
We've got to take a photo of that. It's so
personal, and it means so much to me. Like, honest, you would not believe.
I think what you've got to do.
It's okay if you don't like it. In fact, watch it because you don't like it. That's fine. Just stick.
And there you are on screen with the.
Thank you.
I mean, this is just shameless, isn't it?
What's
on the front page, Asha?
Guys, I love you all. Thank you.
Right, let's go to the papers. Right, okay. Let's start with the Sun. Killer cons his way to cushy life. 2 years on new agony for Southport families. We were talking about this earlier. Axel Rudakubana getting transferred to Broadmoor because, well, as it says in the Sun here, killer cons his way into a cushy life.
Would you have him put down?
Do you know what? If anybody deserves to be, If anybody deserves to be
£15 million
Andre,
in
don't. It's going to make me cry looking at those little. Oh, I'm going to get upset. Look at those little girls. They'll never kiss a boy, or they'll never. You know, they won't. Their daddy won't see them walk down the aisle. Or
It's horrendous.
it's absolutely disgusting. He's
And actually,
disgusts.
Look at the drawing of his face. Look,
He
you know,
disgusts
it's
me.
always that same facial expression, isn't it? And it must be. You know, you're quite open about this. Obviously, you lost a daughter. It was not obviously a murder.
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God for small mercies, I think is the right way of saying
Yeah.
it. It must be particularly poignant for you when they're saying 2 years after the murder, he's celebrating it by lying his way into Broadmoor.
For me, it's got to be. It should. Do you know where? Because I don't like the idea that you become God and decide if somebody can live or not. I don't like that. That's not me. However, solitary confinement for the rest of his life.
See, I thought this, and I said this to Dr. Raj Prasad a second ago, and that is the front page of
Because you're paying and supporting him anyway. Stick him on his own. Stick him on his own with all his own thoughts and his own demons.
I thought to myself, and I said this to Dr. Raj. I said, well, okay, he says he's mentally ill. Who cares? Right, so if you were mentally ill, I'd go, oh, you know, this is a mother, you know, she needs our support, whatever. If Dean was mentally ill, whatever, or Asher's having a rough time, he's depressed, yes, send him to the NHS because he's got a job and he's contributing to society. This bloke's not going to contribute anything. And £15 million. I mean, I'd just post the food through the letterbox.
Yeah, I know. It's incredible,
and
isn't
the thing
it?
is, you know what they did with Lucy Connolly, because of what you were saying, it was poignant, you know, but you lost a child, she lost a child because of an NHS failure, and you can understand why she reacted, and she deleted that tweet, but it was terrible what happened to her, because if you've lost a child, you're going to feel it different to other people.
You are, and that's exactly right. And
so they didn't take out of her mental
what we're doing is, right here, we're supposedly considering his rights, but
but that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. He will have the best of the best.
Yeah.
He'll have all of these lawyers, all on legal aid for 50 years, getting him this, getting him that, and this is exactly what Ian Huntley did.
Yeah, well,
and the Yorkshire Ripper.
Well, he's got to go and face his maker at some point, and I don't think it's going to work out very well.
The Daily Mirror, summer of chaos. Thousands queue for Europe getaways as wildfires force Brits to flee. Holes result. Why would you go on holiday when it's like being on holiday here? It's going to be 30 degrees again next week.
Is it? Is it staying hot? Oh,
thousands of holidaymakers are facing huge queues at ports of travel to mainland Europe as wildfires rage across the continent, and 6.3 million Brits will hit the road in the next few days. It comes to places in southwest of France.
It's Spain,
a lot of these are saying it's arson as well, like it was in LA. A lot of this is arson from people who aren't from the country. You know what I mean?
But equally,
or accidents with barbecues.
Well, yeah, and do you know what? Didn't we have a problem? There were some fireworks let off in memory of somebody who died, wasn't they, up north? I don't know if you knew about this one, but it started a fire, and it was obviously it's a bit silly, but it came from a good place. It didn't come from a bad place.
But I did it myself. I remember being a teenager and having a little bonfire somewhere, and suddenly it starts spreading.
Yeah, because
like, my God,
because you don't realise.
And also there's peat bogs, so people are having barbecue, not realising the fire's carrying on underground, and it can just come up again.
I know.
Put the ashes on the floor.
Well, that's where my parenting comes in, because I'm a bit like, I don't think we should hide kids from everything. You know that, don't you? Like, and we shouldn't be protected. When it's bonfire night, I have an open fire not an open fire. We have a little in the living room.
Wasting gas just heating the outside.
No, we have.
It's unsubscribed.
My living room has a little real fire, basically, and I'll let the kids sit with me while I light it. When they're old enough, I'll let them light it, because I think that you need to know about fire. Do you know what I mean?
This is a big problem with your show now, because I now know more about you than I did before.
Oh,
so you've got
what do you think, Andre?
You've got a real fire inside your house.
Yes.
And you've got a gas fire outside your house.
No, we haven't. Because Dean set it on fire.
Oh, really?
We've got a normal barbecue now outside, just a normal barbecue that you put coals on, because Dean can't be trusted with a gas barbecue.
Yeah, but barbecue's got to have coals. A proper barbecue should have coals.
Yeah, that's what we've got.
Have you got pillars on your front door? All footballers have pillars.
No. That's what I mean. We're not posh. We're just like.
Do you not live in the football park?
Actually, this is
we don't live in the football park.
This is the other thing that people forget. This is the other thing that people forget. If you have 5 children, 4 now, obviously because of the sad death of your daughter, if you've got 4 kids, you have to make a lot of money to be rich, don't you?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I get like, I see Julia Hartley-Brewer going off skiing, but she's got 1 daughter and the husband works, right? So I get that.
You see that now, Mum and Dad have to both work, don't they? Because, he's
Yeah,
not.
but your husband's now a Premiership assistant manager. He must be doing all right there.
I am not commenting.
But I was got the impression that the big problem that you and Dean have always had, now you're out in the open, but actually, from a money point of view, you've never had the sort of $1 million a year job, $2 million a year job, because he injured his knee, so he got Bolton.
He was never like a really big footballer.
He got Bolton into the Premier League, but never played
in the Premier
League.
League.
Of course, so he will have always earned good money.
He was supposed to be. I'm sure it was. I don't want to talk out of turn, but I think there was contract negotiations with Everton when he broke his leg. Yeah. And that was just gone. So he's never been the big footballer.
He's never been the $4 million a year.
He's always just earned a good wage and put a roof over our head, and obviously we've had a nice life.
But now he is actually doing, been in the Premier League, you're going to be doing all right. So maybe this is now his time. And he wouldn't have had that before if he wouldn't have, you know what I mean? But
when holding it together gets big,
yes,
you'll be paying.
Come on, everyone. Let's
go to a breaky, and then we're going to go through all the papers. We've got the Daily Star, the Independent, and all the others. It's Andre Nash and Danielle Nichols has visited us, talking about her show, Holding It Together, on YouTube. Check it out. And we'll be back with Danielle and the newspapers after this.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
OK, this is the press preview with Andre Walker, Asher Gould and Danielle Nichols. OK, go for it.
The Daily Star, this is a sad story. Corrie, Coronation Street. Tracy, I need a miracle. That's Corrie legend. Tracy Shaw broke down in tears as she revealed she needed a miracle as breast cancer surgery isn't possible. Do you know Tracy?
No,
it's a horrendous
I really
story.
Liked her.
Yeah. Well, she's still around.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she needs a miracle, but hopefully she will get one. And the Southport killer storm, of course.
Yeah. Who did she play? Who did she play? Tracy Shaw.
Maxine.
Because I always remember that one. Oh, Tracy, love.
Yeah,
who was that one?
Barlow, Tracy Barlow.
Deirdre Barlow, yeah.
Yeah, that was Deirdre's daughter.
Oh, Tracy, love.
Tracy, you said that funny neck.
All the veins on her neck, Tracy.
She was, who was she married to? Anne Kirkbride, very good, yeah.
There we go.
Chris
saw her filling up a tank of petrol at Sainsbury's in Manchester once.
Who was the one that you always used to see them at Salford Sainsbury's?
Yeah.
They were always in Salford.
That's exactly right.
The Coronation.
Did you know that too?
Yes.
Everybody knew that you could see them.
My mum used to see that Asian fella.
I think that was just the nearest place to where
petrol station.
Yeah. It was the nearest petrol station to the studios. The studios aren't there now. They're in Media City.
See, my mum used to use the actual character names because she didn't bother reading the credits, did she?
Yeah.
And there was the Asian fella. What was the Asian fella called?
Des. He's at my gym.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he's at my gym. And I see him every morning, and he always takes the time to, like, chat to the staff and everything. Everyone like, oh, yeah, you're all right.
Oh, that's nice,
I don't know, Div,
have you ever seen...
Div? Yeah, well,
Div.
he's so nice. He's such a nice bloke, and I don't know his name.
Dev. That's the one that my mum always used to say.
Yeah, really nice bloke. Oh, so I don't know, I've not spoken to him, but he seems really nice.
Have you ever seen Deirdre Barlow?
No.
Like, there's a Christian Dior advert where it looks like Deirdre Barlow. I'll try and find Deirdre Barlow.
Bet Lynch,
I worked with her. Yeah.
Did you? Tell us about Bet Lynch.
She really liked me.
She's a good laugh. She seemed like she was a good fun, wasn't she?
But you know what? You didn't want to cross her.
No, definitely not.
She knew.
There we go. Deirdre Barlow.
Yeah.
Look, Deirdre Barlow.
Weird, yeah.
Oh yeah, Deirdre Barlow.
Yeah, I liked her a lot. Yeah,
Deirdre Barlow.
Julie Goodyear, really good person. Showed me a lot of kindness.
I heard the one who was horrible was Wendy Richards. You know,
I don't know who
what
that
was.
Which was Wendy Richards.
If she was from EastEnders and she was.
Pauline Fowler.
Pauline.
Yeah.
All she ever, there was that kid, and the only thing he ever used to do, she'd go to your room, Martin, and that's it. He'd just go to his room.
Poor Martin, yeah.
Martin did nothing.
You kind of watched him grow up just by being sent to his room, getting a bit bigger each time.
I went to Dot Cotton's 70th birthday, June Brown, and
she's supposed to be lovely. Was she?
She's lovely, and you know she was best mates with Pauline Fowler in real life. Wendy Richards. And I went out for a fag. I was there with Dot Cotton and Pauline Fowler going.
And you're thinking this is freaky.
I mean, do you know
especially that you're smoking a
I'd never recommend taking up smoking, but you'd be tempted with Dot Cotton, wouldn't you?
You would, wouldn't you? You've got to say I stood and had a cig with Dot Cotton.
She was a Jewish lady from North London, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was quite a miserable woman. I remember she was saying, it's not even my 70th birthday. And then when she went up to do her speech, she went, yeah, it's not a lot of people know I'm Jewish, but it's nothing to be proud of. I don't know what she meant by that. But anyway, yeah, she was a lovely woman, her and Pauline, having a fag with them out on Park Lane. The Independent. Brexit. Well, by the way, I bumped into Phyllis. Do you remember with the mauve hair? Phyllis, the old lady from Coronation Street.
Yeah, she used to be.
Yeah.
Out at the Imperial in Blackpool. Hello, I said hello and hello, love, how are you? With the pink hair.
Do you know what they get used to? I think I've said to Fizz, you know, the one with the curly red hair, young girl. Yeah. She's not now, but she was then. Yeah. And I saw her and kind of thought I knew her, so I went, hiya, you're all right. Yeah. And they must get so used to people just recognising them and think that you know them.
I've got two stories about that. I used to be mates with Chris Choi, you know, who was on Watchdog. And he said the number of people who think that I'm their bank manager, and they just walk up. But one day I did something. I was walking down Key Street in Manchester, and I saw this bloke with his girlfriend, and I stopped. And I went, "Oh, good to see you again, mate. How are you? Yeah, what are you doing? All this sort of thing." And I walked off, and my mate went, "Who's that?" And I went, "If I'm being honest with you, I can't remember. But I think he was in the Young Conservatives with me a few years ago." And they went, "It's Brian Harvey from East 70."
Oh, brilliant!
That's superb, isn't it?
Love it.
Absolutely superb. Anyway,
Brian Harvey.
Sammy says.
You remember he ran over his own head?
Did he have the big fluffy coat on from the?
he glared.
Stay now.
He glared at me once.
Did
I just looked. He looked back at me and glared.
The worst thing about that song, "Stay Another Day," is it's about the death of his brother.
I know, I didn't even know.
And
everyone's like, "Stay," I know. Like, celebrating.
But he's minted that guy because he wrote all the songs, and the others are all skint. Yeah, and Brian Harvey smashed up all his golden. You know, he's in a bad way.
He ran over his own head.
Well, yeah, he did that accidentally, but I mean, his own foot. Yeah, well, it was his whole body, I think. He had it in reverse, and somehow he got out the car. It was still in reverse, and it sort of wheeled him.
No, the great story about East 17. For those of you, this is our era. This isn't it? For those of you that don't know, what happened was, so Tony Mortimer and Brian Harvey and Tony Mortimer's brother were I was about to say threesome, but you know what I mean. Right, a trio. So, obviously, Tony Mortimer's brother died, and the record label said, "Look, I think it's just a bit weird, two blokes being in a band together. It's a bit strange. What can we do?" And I'm not joking. Brian Harvey went, "Well, when I was working on the building site, there's a couple of lads I reckon who might be up for it." Right? So the other three just stood there and went,
Yeah, no, they didn't actually...
Didn't do anything. They didn't sing. They didn't... But they just went... He went down to a building site in Walthamstow and went...
Who's a bit good looking and
can
dance?
Are you 3 up for it?
Oh,
and they went, yeah, that was it.
That's when life was like that, though,
That's
weren't
crazy,
it? That's
isn't it?
when people have stories like,
They've gone back to plastering
I was walking through a supermarket and someone said, you're going to be the next Naomi Campbell, and then that's it.
But that happened to Sean Cronin, who's the...
They said he was going to be the next Naomi Campbell.
but Sean Cronin was walking through.
Who's Sean Cronin?
He's been a Bond bad guy and all this. He's he's like the evil Russian in loads of TV shows.
Yeah.
And he's the one who directed the film that I'm in about boxing. And he's a lovely bloke.
Right.
He said, I walked up Portobello Road and somebody went, are you aware that you look evil?
Yeah,
right?
You'd make a great bad guy.
And they went, and he said, are you aware that you look evil? And the week, I think 2 days later, he was on the set of The Mummy Returns as a bad guy.
That's cool.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I love stuff
like that. But when you
that.
meet him, he's like the nicest bloke, but he looks like a right wrong un. He just looks like a wrong un.
I love that, though, because that was like the Ricky Gervais thing, weren't it?
No.
Like, it's just like, well, he was... What was he doing? Didn't he con his way into the BBC?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
a famous
something
story,
like
XFM.
that.
Yeah.
So, he was the entertainment manager at the University of London Union, where I was the chairman a few years later. There you go.
See, I love stuff like that. I like the idea that
I'll show you
it's
Sean Cronin.
accessible to
I'll show you
everyone.
Sean Cronin. There he is.
Oh,
Look,
yeah.
the
And he's
evil-looking
good-looking,
bloke.
though, isn't he?
Evil-looking bloke.
Gorgeous, isn't he?
Oh, he's gorgeous. Oh, he was gorgeous.
Sammy Witness texted in, hi Andre, Ash and Danielle, so good to see you all together. I have texted a watch from when it was Andre and Danielle on a Saturday night. You helped me through a divorce, a breakdown and multiple illnesses. Well, I'm now watching you happier than ever, Sam in Lancashire. So you sorted out a divorce, illnesses.
We didn't sort out a divorce.
You had to through it all.
We were just there for her.
We like that. We like that, didn't we?
Yeah, we do. We loved our Saturday show.
Yeah, we did get it back. What's
we absolutely
give him a second series, you
liked
shit.
it way too much, didn't
Give
we?
him a second series. I was gutted when I know they did it to put the Premier League on, but still.
Well, Nicola says, fabulous having Danielle, Mr.
By the way, I've just realised something.
What?
We're not sitting here going, the show ended because, well, it was time to move on. No, we got cancelled.
Yeah.
No, really.
That's what I mean. That's what my show does on YouTube, holding it together. He just tells it as it is.
We're not sat there going, no, it was the right time to move on.
Yeah.
No, it got cancelled.
I know. I just think people who like, oh yeah, it's all
well,
about
Nikki wants the
saving
show
face. It's
back
just
as
your
well.
ego.
Someone says, great to see Danielle. Can you ask if she would like to receive a foot massage? Kieran and I think it's better.
Kieran, you know I'd like more you to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And she might get her feet out on the show.
I'll get my feet out if you don't.
Right, yeah. Great to see you, Danielle. I've subscribed now. That's from Catherine. Looking forward to watching it.
Catherine.
Burnham's wife said he can take the job but has to stay in Manchester. She won't let him work away. The thing is, I lived in Manchester a bit, and when you live there, it's sort of a quite insular place, and you think you think Manchester's really important, then you go out into the bigger world. But he's still got that insular thing, hasn't he? That Manchester people have. They're always bigging up, and it's a great place, but they're all, from Birmingham, you don't big yourself up. But Manchester, everyone in Manchester going, Manchester, and what is it about Manchester that sort of... everyone wants to stay.
I think we're just proud. Like, we're proud of where we're from. And that's okay, because I think as well, like, when you do come down south, I remember, like, my dad had a massive thing. We had relatives who lived in Kent.
He had a what?
He had a massive
thing about... Sorry.
He had a massive thing, my dad.
No, he had a massive thing about, like, feeling that Southerners made him feel like he was... Like a bit
that's the thing,
thick,
they got a chip on the shoulder.
North and all
yeah, but that's the chip on their shoulder.
I think we claimed that back, and we were like, you know what, we're from Manchester.
Yeah, but you're imagining it. It's like you're going, look, you Londoners.
When people do impersonations of me, right,
we tell it as it is.
Look,
you Southerners always wrap it up nice and shiny. We tell it as it is.
Let's just remind ourselves. I went to private school and I've got a master's degree in the hall. Oh, right, Andre, how are the lad? And you think, do I actually sound like that?
You don't, but you can tell that you're from the north. That's
yeah, you can.
It does sound like that.
Happy with that.
Anyway, look, we've got to take another break. 03444991000. But we've got a little voice. The Panasonic answer machine is flashing, and there's a message for Danielle, and it's from Hope. Press play on the Panasonic.
Okay.
Danielle, I absolutely loved your new channel, and I wish the best of luck for it. However, I want to let you know you're almost at 500 subscribers, and I'm very, very proud of you. Just, will there be an option for fan mail, or can I keep sending stuff here? Anyway, I'm super excited for Sunday. Happy to send. Bye-bye! See you again soon!
Is that a real person or one of those dolls that you press a button on?
She's got a very high-pitched voice. She is a real person.
Anyway.
And she lives in Florida and she's like a super fan. I don't know why.
She sounded like Cindy in Michigan a bit, but higher up.
She did sound a bit like
I
Cindy
think that's you with one of those machines.
Do you think?
A bit of helium in American accent.
I've just,
anyway, you've got to
You're
go.
not going now, are you?
You've got to go
I
up
am
north,
going now
haven't
because
you?
I've got to drive all the way back.
The horse and cart is waiting outside to take her back up north.
We're very insular. We love living in Manchester.
Can't stand London anymore.
No, it's just that we can't afford to live anywhere.
No.
But I will tell you one good thing about Andy Burnham.
Yes.
Right, so he lives in the village that my dad lives in.
Yes.
And remember, we successfully lobbied the MP and Andy Burnham to get a new railway station there.
Yes, you
My
did.
dad's got a 6-bedroom house with a 1/4 acre garden.
Your dad's got a nice gaff.
100 yards from the new railway station where the Prime Minister lives. I think that house is going to go up in value.
Yeah,
well done, Andy.
Probably worth about £4,000.
I cannot not like someone who comes from Manchester. I can't help it.
Can I tell you the great joke?
Have to.
Even Terry Duckworth.
Can I tell you the great joke that I told last night? The last time the King said Andy Burnham before the other day was when he saw his younger brother's photograph collection.
And that is a good joke.
Andy Burnham.
Thanks for coming down, Danielle. That was brilliant.
Thank you for having me.
Holding It Together on YouTube, a new show. Go and watch it. It's all about the fans like the Osbournes, but better, and, you know, all shouting at each other. Lots of feisty stuff going on, and celebrity appearances in the future. Thanks for coming down, and have a good trip back up north.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be back after this.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
By the way, to Steve in Lowton, Andy Burnham does not live behind McDonald's. That is not true. That is a smear. I think his house is very lovely. Anyway, I just wanted to remind you all, if you are going to watch Holding It Together on Sunday, make sure you all comment, as well as subscribe and hit the bell notification icon as well. Let's go to the front page.
The Independent in stereo. Brexit wipes out UK Trump tariff benefit over EU after the US president hits dozens of countries with fresh export fees. British firms' advantage over European rivals evaporates overnight because of better terms negotiated by Brussels. Typical. Brexit didn't really happen. Brexit in name only. That's basically what we've had. We're basically back in the EU, and it's going to get worse now. And also, Trump, he doesn't like Burnham, does he? And he certainly doesn't like Miliband.
I like that door. Have you noticed that number 10, 0 is off?
Do you know the reason for that?
No, I don't.
It's because when they put it up, it had to rush it. The paint was wet and they put it up slightly wrong, and ever since then the 0 has been off-centre.
Oh, I didn't know that,
So,
but it certainly is off-centre.
And also, you know, Downing Street, it wasn't black. Originally it was sandstone, and they cleaned it in the 1900s, and it hadn't been cleaned for like a century, and they realised it was sandstone, and they thought, oh, it doesn't look as good anymore, so they painted it black. So it's actually painted black to match the soot.
Somebody told me the brickwork is so bad that they've painted it and they've drawn on the white lines to make it look like...
To make it look like...
Because it's basically...
It's sandstone,
It's a scummy tenement block with a stately home stuck on the back.
It's like, three houses, isn't it, with one little one in the middle. So there it is, the door of number... Apparently there's a few doors for number 10 in London as well. It's not just one door, they change them around every now and then. But, yeah, number 10 North opens as well. Do you think the next government will just get rid of this?
Yes.
It's silly, isn't it?
Yes. Although
moving up and down like Brussels and Strasbourg, what's the point in all that?
Effectively, it's got... It's in GCHQ in Manchester. So for years, GCHQ only had Cheltenham, but I think now they've got a number of regional hubs, so it's quite a secure place. It's a Heron House. But I'll tell you something...
The Heron House?
It might be the Heron House, my local pub. Heron House. I think it's going to be interesting. I'll tell you why. Because it will involve mandarins and senior civil servants, whatever, having to see what Piccadilly Gardens is like as a result of the drug addicts and uncontrolled immigration. The place is an ode. Crackdilly Gardens, they call it.
I mean... It's true, they will have to clean it up now, won't they?
Well, they'll see what it's like, because all the hotels they'll be staying in will be round there.
Well, there's that Britannia Hotel, isn't there, the Piccadilly, and was all...
That's rough as a badger's bum, that place.
That's one possibly good thing, that it will clean up
Manchester.
Did
you want that water?
Will you have it? Can we have another water, please, garçon? The Daily Express. What a carry-on inside the wacky world of wife racing. Well, that's wife carrying, actually. I've got that wrong. Where you run and carry your wife as far... And it's taken very seriously. You carry your wife for as quick over a certain distance, and there's different techniques.
Where does it come from?
I think it's Scandinavian, some sort of, funny Scandinavian thing. It comes from out there, where they do that sort of thing. Killer of our girls is playing the system. The Southport family's anguish as Rudakubana is moved from jail to secure hospital. Axel Rudakubana has been accused by relatives of the 3 girls he murdered of manipulation after he gained a transfer from prison to a secure hospital. The Southport families found out almost exactly 2 years. What a lovely anniversary present after their daughters died. Unbelievable. A prison source said the vile offender has played the system and will now enjoy the freedoms that are afforded at Belmar.
Although I think...
At Broadmoor, where you are a patient, you're considered that you're not a prisoner anymore, you're a patient. Although when it finishes, as Raj Sword pointed out, you will be moved back to the prison. Thanks.
Great. And also, I think very interesting.
It's from Finland, wife.
Very interesting that Dr. Raj Prasad said that actually people who swing the lead actually get quite irritated by it in the end because they have to spend sort of 4 hours a day talking about their feelings. Look at this. By the way, the person that sends a photo of Sir Chris Bryant.
Oh, yeah, we had him on the show once. There he's in his pants.
There he is, yeah. We don't want to see that picture.
I do not want to see that. The Daily Telegraph, Nigel Farage. If I'm a crook, voters can get rid of me. And this is about the by-election. Anyway, we won't go into that, because otherwise we have to... Do we have to now read out all the names of the... No, I'll read them out. I'll do it quicker. Right, we'll go
play the clip.
We'll do it going into the break, the clip of it all. Sorry about that.
Just to explain to viewers and listeners, if you mention that by-election, you've got to read out all 33 names of all of the other candidates.
Lord Buckethead, Lord Sausage Face, Lord Cabbage Brain, you got to read them all out because of the law.
We keep accidentally doing it. It is a ludicrous Ofcom rule that we have to observe.
This is a serious story. Iran agents sneak in as channel migrants. Well, we knew that would be going on. Why would you not do that if you're a terrorist and you want to get sleeper cells in? You just send them in boats. Tehran regime helps asylum seekers cross in return for favour when they are settled. So that's the story. Iran has been caught sending suspected operatives across the channel. Well, there's no real surprise there, is there?
I mean, I think what
I'd be surprised if they weren't doing it.
I think what they'll do is they'll go for a joint attack where, say, there's 500
Well,
operatives
that could
all
happen,
in,
couldn't it?
and they go, all of you on Christmas Eve in 2027, all go on a knife rampage. I think it's perfectly possible.
And they've just prescribed the IRGC, you know, years late, but they're already in here, you know, and this is the danger that we've been put in by our basically undemocratically elected governments. For years, we've been saying for decades, about 4 decades, we don't want this.
What about this? A plagiarism row has broken out at Cambridge University involving a professor who became the face of Diversity Drive after being hired 3 years ago. Jason Arde, Professor of Sociology of Education, has been accused by academics and at other universities of copying parts of his 2015 PhD. Oh, no doubt he's not very good, but was just given the job as a diversity choice.
Yeah. Well, this happens a lot, but they get caught out now. And apparently, students who use AI, there's these monitoring programs that can see if you've used AI now. So I suppose it's AI. No bare chests. New rules at the game fair after fighting and thefts. Britain's smartest country fair has stepped up security on site following a recent surge in crime. We better tell Lizzie Gundy. The game fair, founded in 1958 and long seen as a celebration of rural gentility, has recently been sullied by fighting and thefts. And so they're going to ban bare-chested people because they are apparently the violent ones. Male and female.
No, they're not talking about female.
Yeah. Well, they're allowed in. The Cambridge Diversity pin-up in plagiarism. Oh, we just done that. Yeah. Root favourite to lead England in next test. Well, we don't really need to know about her. F1 tycoon left cash lifeline for Ferguson. Paddy McNally, one of Sarah Ferguson's closest friends, could have delivered her a financial lifeline after his death this week. Speculation is rife that he might have left her some money. And new IRA car bomb driven to Irish border. A car containing an extremely significant bomb has been intercepted while heading towards Northern Ireland and suspected operation by the new IRA. Now, what would you think this is about? Because this isn't about the old IRA grievance. Is this about the new grievance of the immigration destroying Ireland?
Absolutely right.
They're not saying that, though. They're sort of suggesting the IRA are back and it's never the Good Friday and never. But I think this is more to do with.
I think that's much more likely.
Yeah, and I think they're playing with fire.
By the way, before we go to the break and we read out the list of candidates in the Clacton by-election, just to remind you, on the front page of the Daily Express, we showed the picture up here. Those are the 2 children, Archie and Lilibet, that Meghan Markle said were being discriminated against because they were black. I'll leave you with that. One's ginger and the other's blonde. I mean, so that woman's just a loony.
I mean, I never seen her.
OK, let's read out these 33.
Let's play the VT of all the candidates in the coming up by-election. Let's see it.
So the full list of candidates for the Clacton by-election: Joseph 77, the Independent; Adam Akatip, the Forward Party; Count Binface, the Count Binface Party; Nick the Incredible Flying Brick, the Official Monster Raving Loony Party; Tony Kane's an independent. Woke Trump Kazi is an independent. William Stewart James Clouston is the Social Democratic Party candidate. Rhys Cowan, an independent. Glenn Charles Cummings, an independent. Martin Davis, the Freedom Alliance Real People Real Alternative. Andy Earlam's an independent. Nigel Farage, the Reform UK Party. Atiye Fards, an independent. Lawrence Fox for the Reclaim Party. Tony Francis is an independent. Robin Green, an independent. Abby Hookway, an independent. Howling Lord Hope, the Official Monster Raving Loony Party. Stephen Richard Ingram is an independent, as is Amy Morris. Derek Norbert Morris is an independent. Michael Noel O'Keefe, an independent. Martin O'Brien, an independent. Nick Pellis, an independent. And Ketanar Kumar Pipiaya is the UK Voice Safer and Stronger UK Party. Daniel Pocock's an independent. James Ransley, the Consensus Party candidate. Jerry Smith is an independent. Kai Stevens for the British Democrats. John Stevens for rejoin the EU. Baron von Thunderclap for the Official Monster Raving Loony Party. Pamela Walford is an independent. Marcus White, Everyone is God Party. And Mark Wilkinson for the Independents.
across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
I think you've got to tell that story again, Asher, about prisoner cell block H and what happened to them.
Well, back in the late 80s, a lot of the Australian soap stars, for some reason, moved to Birmingham. A lot of them moved to Moseley, home and away. But Toadfish was there.
Toadfish!
They were all down there, you know. Even,
what happened to Vinegar Tits?
I don't know if she moved down there, but once I was down in Birmingham back in the late 80s, about 88, and it was, where was I? I was on New Street, and I went into the Midland Bank there, or HSBC, it might have been Midland Bank, and there was B. Smith at the cashier. B. Smith, man. And so I went up to her and went, all right, B. Smith, how you doing? And she went, yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, mate, yeah, I'm all right. She wasn't as bad as she was in the proof. And the cashier said, oh, are you famous or something? And B. Smith went, yeah, that's why I was hoping you could help me. She was pulling her, you know, using her celebrity weight as B. Smith, but
I've got a story that's about banks. I know this is a really simple one, but this is awful. I had a friend of mine who went into the HSBC in Manchester, and he went, hello, I'd like an extension of my overdraft. And he went, how big is your overdraft? And he went, it's £5,000, I'd like 7. And they went, oh, OK. And what do you study? And he went, law. And they went, right. And which university? He went, Manchester University. And they went, right, yeah, OK, just fill out that form, it'll be fine. We've pre-approved it. And then this other kid walks in, this is awful, and went, hello, I'd like an extension of my overdraft. And he went, how much do you want? And he went, 1,000, I want 750. And they went, what do you study? And he went, dance. And they went, where'd you study it? He went, Man Met. And he went, declined.
What's dance?
Dance.
Oh, dance.
Dance.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awful,
Can't
isn't it?
trust dance.
That's so awful.
No.
I felt so sorry for him. Man Met's all right. You went to Man Met, didn't you?
Yeah, well, it was Manchester Polytechnic.
I think studying dance there might not be.
No, I mean, I didn't do dance. I did business information. I know you'd think that. I did business information technology.
And you lived in Hillel House. I went there once.
I did for a year, yeah.
We called it Halal House.
Yeah, well, it is now.
Is it?
Yeah. Anyway, the Times. Net zero risks blackouts. Well, we know that. Whistleblower says rise of wind and solar energy as officials gauging supply and demand flying blind. What I like to do when England are playing half-time is put the kettle on at half-time, as it's like a communal thing, and they say, don't everyone put your kettle on at half-time, but we all do, because we like to feel like a community making tea together at half-time, don't we, ladies and gentlemen?
No, we don't.
No. All right. And also eat easy Italian classics.
Right, what's your favourite easy Italian classic?
Spaghetti bolognese. Oh, that's not. It's tagliatelle al ragu, isn't it? It's the If you say to an Italian, "Can I have a spaghetti bolognese?" they'll look at you, you know, with anger.
Hey, by the way, do you know? Right, so do you know in the Romanian shop in Slough, you know you get...
I don't know that shop.
Do you know how you do a cake if you're Romanian?
No, what do you do?
You just buy the layers and just make it up as you want it. You just buy whatever cream you want, whatever layers you want, ridiculous. And you just make... That's
Is it nice, though? I bet it's good.
That's how you make a cake.
What, commercial cakes, and you just cut them up and add...
No, so
it's like getting Kipling cakes and mixing them up and then saying that's a cake.
No, you just go, right, so you have the big... Like maybe the size of this newspaper.
A base.
Right,
yeah.
Base.
You buy the base.
No, maybe half. Maybe I'll tell you what. A A4 paper, and just have like that'll be the slab of cake with nothing on it.
And you buy that prepared.
And then you put some cream on it. Then put another slice of cake on top, and you just do it.
Well, it's probably as good, isn't it?
I think it probably is actually.
Might even be better.
I think it probably is.
If you're Romanian, give
and then
us
you can make, because what you can have is you can have like the lemon one and the chocolate one and the vanilla one, or 2 chocolates or 3 chocolates, and you can just make it.
If you're Romanian, give us a ring and let us know some more of your cake secrets. Don't keep it all to yourself. 03444991000.
No, we're not getting Romanian cake makers.
Well, if they call
that would be the worst segment since the Sleep Geek.
Well,
I mean, that was.
They complained about that. We were very respectful.
The man knew nothing about. I know how he put people to sleep.
Yeah, I know how to sleep. 25 of the best summer wines to buy now.
That'd be good.
25's quite a lot, but that's a good night. Stay sharp. What brain doctors say to avoid dementia? I think the best thing is sleep, because that cleans off the proteins and
I agree with that.
things. The Guardian. Water bosses pay rises despite ban on bonuses, so they've found a way. Water company bosses' total pay has risen over the past year despite a ban on bonuses and outrage over bills and pollution. The Guardian can reveal one water boss, Mark Thurston of Anglian Water, received £1.9 million, including an £500,000 retention payment. They want to keep the guy who's not doing any good. The biggest package went to Louise Beardmore, the chief executive of United Utilities, who received £2.5 million, a £1.1 million pound pay rise. Not bad work.
But here's the thing that I don't understand. Andy Burnham's going on about nationalising Thames Water. Right, OK, so they're complaining about the amount of effluent being pumped into the Thames. They're complaining about the fact they haven't invested. They've only just opened that super sewer. I mean, the reality is, they've been building it for 20 years because it's such a complex project. I thought to myself, well, if you wanted to renationalise them for being rubbish, why wait for them to finish the infrastructure thing? But with that in mind, I want to say to you, we are going to go to Ask Asher in a moment. But before that, I just want to say to you, if you want to call us, at the beginning of this show was a special show about Axel Rudakubana going to Broadmoor. We had David Shipley on. We had Dr. Raj Prasad on talking about this. Is it right that this man should be allowed to spend £15 million being treated effectively on the taxpayer's expense? Should he be just left in Belmarsh rather than go to Broadmoor? 60,000 a year to look after somebody or incarcerate somebody in Belmarsh, but at Broadmoor it's £300,000 a year. Do you agree with Danielle Nichols that we should just shut the door, post the food through the letterbox and leave him to it? 0344 499 1000. There are two slots available that you can phone in, so that means if you phone now you will get through. 0344 499 1000. And I just want to get this picture, wherever it is, it's over here, of these young girls who have been killed on the front page of The Sun. Look at the faces of those children, or imagine them if you're listening on the radio. Axel Rudakubana loves it, doesn't he?
And he would have killed all the girls if he could have.
Yes.
Luckily, he was stopped before, but horrendous, you know. I mean, this guy, you know, shouldn't be allowed.
And he made a real mess of them as well. I mean, coming in with, like, a machete. I mean,
well, there's other girls that are severely injured and will have, obviously, the scars for the rest of their lives and the trauma.
Oh, absolutely right. Asher, what would you do with him? Death penalty?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I know he was 17 and just a few days. Why not kill him, basically, judicially and legally?
But I don't see it.
100% proof he did it.
I keep making this point again and again, Asher. What is it that he's going to do? Imagine we go, oh wow, we've cured him. Wouldn't it be marvellous? Well, what's he going to do? He's not going to hike K2, is he?
He's already done the bad thing. That it doesn't matter if he redeems himself. It was that bad. But yeah, what is the point in keeping these people alive? And they say, you know, we'll be just as bad as them. Well, no, we've not murdered anyone. We're killing the murderer.
Yeah,
it's not the same thing.
But also, ridiculous. It shows our humanity. But how much humanity to our own people?
Well, exactly.
I've seen lots of humanity to Levi Belfield. I've seen lots of humanity to Axel Rudakubana. I've seen lots of humanity towards Peter Sutcliffe and Ian Brady and all these people. What about our own people? What about the victims? I'll tell you what,
what about the hundreds of people that get murdered by released murderers who go on to murder again? That does happen. And what about when they got rid of the death penalty? Because they go, oh, the death penalty doesn't stop people from murdering. It does. When they had a moratorium for a year, it doubled the amount of murders. And after the death penalty, of course it goes up. It's just ridiculous pie in the sky. Well, it won't stop people. It does stop people from murdering.
I always think, you know, let's at least try to see if the death penalty would reduce the number of murders. I've realised something.
It does. It's
the UF Bros up. Then we're going to.
That's right. The talk mystery department are going to be on. We've got all the two guys. They normally don't disagree. They normally just. Are they both here tonight with the glazed over look? What are they going to be talking about tonight?
Oh,
what is the mystery that the department have been looking?
Transhumanism.
What
is that?
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
Well, do we really want to know?
Nah, you cancel that. Can we think of something? No, what is transhumanism? Well, we'll find out.
But anyway, we are going to be talking especially about this. Do you want to see Axel Rudakubana executed? Do you want him thrown in prison for years? Also, Somebody said to me that I'm a bit brave going to Slough High Street. I love Slough. I think it's brilliant. It's got so much great food there. Not, you know, look, the town centre's not the Garden of Eden, but it's a place where people work rather than... and many people go there as their first place in the UK to live and then move out over time.
Never go there again. Plum, not plumbing, says
No, that's
Nicky.
it's Andre or brave going out in Slough High
I'm
Street.
talking about, what's that, plum?
Yeah,
Did you
but
say plum and plumbing?
They're saying that plumbing donuts, plum donuts.
Can you get plum donuts? That sounds nice. Andy Burnham apparently is a Scouse, not a Manc. I've heard that. He's from sort of where you're from, isn't he? In between the Scouse and Manchester.
I'll tell you where he actually lives. He lives in well, the bit that he lives is one of the parishes of Merseyside that are in Greater Manchester. Because it all buffers up against each other. Because if you think about it, like my local railway station, even though I'm from Greater Manchester, is in Merseyside because they're next to each other. It's like,
well, it's true. It's like they say the River Mersey. What's the closest football ground? It's actually Man City.
That is great, but that's Main Road, isn't it?
It was Main Road, so it's not.
That's Main Road, mate. Yeah.
Main Road, mate, in Rusholme.
Well, you do rush home, don't you? Did you? How many times did you rush home?
I got chased by a couple of smackers once up that Oxford Road onto Wilmslow Road. I managed to get out in time.
I bet you rushed home.
I did.
Yeah.
I rushed back home.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so stay with us in the next hour because it's the mystery department, Joe and Matt, and they're going to talk about transhumanism. I think that's where you change from a... Do you remember Manimal, where he changed from a leopard to a man?
Manimal?
Manimal. It was a TV show. You were probably too young, not allowed to watch it. But the man could metamorphose into a leopard.
When I was a kid, I watched Westworld. I didn't like that.
Oh yeah, Yul Brynner.
I didn't like Yul Brynner. I didn't like Yul Brynner turning into a nutter.
It is scary. He's terrifying. And of course, What Just Happened is going to be on YouTube tomorrow from about 9 o'clock. And after us is going to be Benedict Fletcher with TalkSport as we come together as one. But next, it's Joe and Matt with the Talk and Mystery Department, transhumanism. What is it? We don't know. We'll find out with Joe and Matt after the news.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Okay, this This is the UF Bros on Talk. This is our opportunity to talk to the mystery department. This is Andre Walker and Ashley Gould presenting, and co-hosting is Joe Stock and Matt Thornton. Go for it, Joe.
Today we're talking about transhumanism. Have you heard of this before?
Maybe, I don't know.
There is a movement.
Is there?
Within the upper levels of society, billionaires funding
The
research.
elites.
Yeah, but more like public elites, like Elon Musk and Brian Johnson, who we'll get onto, who are trying to extend their lives in whatever way they can, funding research into this and things like that.
But are we going to get into this awful situation, which you could get into, where you take your brain out of one human and some poor sod who has been kidnapped or whatever gets... I bet someone will try that.
That might be the end result.
No, you can download it now onto a computer.
Certainly the idea of using other people to prolong the life of wealthy people is going to be something we're touching on, because one of the big stories that is out today is this Brian Johnson character, who's a billionaire, very famous, and he's making it very public that he is trying to extend his life. You know, he doesn't want to die. And he's only 48, but, you know, he's doing everything he can to reverse ageing.
Living an extremely healthy lifestyle, exercise, very clean food.
But he hasn't got gout or anything.
No gout, no alcohol, very clean environments as well. I remember seeing vegan. He went to India once to do like a radio show or a podcast, and he left because the air quality wasn't good. He left midway through the podcast.
Oh, I get that.
His guys said...
I could have told him that before
they had a sensor and it said, you know, it's in the red, you've got to leave.
Smelly,
But that was it.
Johnson made headlines initially because it transpired that he was using his son, his 17-year-old son, for blood transfusions. Because there is an idea that has existed for a long time that consuming in whatever way the blood of younger people will help regenerate you.
Well, it was at Hammer House of Horror where she bathed in virgin blood and then she killed a prostitute bathed in her blood.
There was that Hungarian... I think there was a Hungarian princess
just to be clear, that sounds very abusive, but say a pint of blood per month actually wouldn't do you any harm, would it?
Well, as far as I'm aware, his son is like perfectly on board with this. He's not being held against him.
No, of course.
He's interested in it.
But he looks about 48 now.
Obviously.
No, he doesn't give him the old stuff. Can you imagine you swapped it?
Would that impact you, do you think?
I don't
probably
know.
would.
But he stopped doing this because he said he wasn't getting any results. But of course, the idea of this consumption of like young blood to rejuvenate you has existed for a long time. It's like vampirism, all that. But he said...
Well, I've got a friend of mine and good friends with Asher as well, and she has gone for stem cell stuff in Israel to make her face look younger.
Did it work?
Well, I don't know. Shall we have a look?
Give it time.
You know where stem cells they come from?
I'm not interested.
Well, you can get it from various places.
I bet you can get collagen in Israel, can't you? Because you know what collagen is? It's the elastic bit from your foreskin.
Oh, right.
Oh, there'll be plenty of that there then. But you can... There's various, but the thing is they're barking up the wrong tree, because really ageing we think of ageing as a wearing out process. It's not. It's programmed in your DNA. It's your DNA strands at the end. Yeah. And they say now if you were born if you're like 5 to 10 years old, you'll probably live forever, because once an AI of course is going to be looking into it, how basically to stop the genes, because that's all it is mutation of genes. It's aging is programmed. So if you can stop the program, you can live forever.
Well, we're analog.
As long as you don't get run over or something.
We're analog beings, and the nature of that is we break down over time. And I think it's an...
Are we not digital? Are we not digital? No,
we're reaching digital.
So everybody is against... Or many people believe that death is a bad thing. I think death is wonderful, right? I don't personally wish to die tomorrow, but the only way you can rejuvenate human society is if the most senior people within human society cease to be part of it. Because otherwise what will happen is there will be a permanent elite growing older and older and older, dare I say more mad as time gets on, less innovative as time goes on. Because if you think about it, every single child that you ever meet will want to put their stamp on the world in their own way, and they will think about things in a completely different way to their grandparents. That whole process ceases to exist with transhumanism.
Well, there's been 100 billion people in all of human history, and I think if they were all still around, it would be a bit crowded.
I mean, you could probably fit them.
Yeah, especially the real... They'd all look like the one off...
50% of them would be cavemen.
Yeah, but the other thing is, they'd all look
more
like...
More than 50%.
They'd all look like that Nazi off The Last Crusade. No, what was it? the one where he drank the bloody...
Yes, and he aged,
the wrong Holy Grail. It's hideous.
We should do the Holy Grail sometime.
We should do that, yeah. So Brian Johnson's in the news today because the latest thing he's claiming is that he has developed a clone, and he's going to use the clone to harvest You're looking at me in horror. He's going to use the clone to harvest the organs, so when his organs fail, he will just take the replicated
But that will be a
organs
living being.
That is pretty awful, isn't it?
Well, but I mean... There's a lot.
What if they just swap the organs around? You get the old man organs, and then you get the young man.
That's not so bad. Yeah, that's
so I've seen an example where parents cloned their child, and it was something like the child acquired an illness, which meant that their liver was going to die or something, and what they'd done was they cloned the child, and they basically said, well, now because they're completely genetically identical, they can both have like half a liver or something, which they'll be able to live on.
Yeah, they bred him, and actually it was his twin brother, but he was like 10 years younger.
Something like that.
They got the eggs, and they sort of separated it.
I have to say to you, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with two siblings being genetically identical, simply because it happens in nature anyway.
Yeah, it was something to do with the bone marrow transplant.
That's
They had him, so it didn't kill the kid, but they had the kid so the bone marrow could come. It was a direct.
That's absolutely right. The bone marrow would regenerate, so the clone child would be genetically the same, but it wouldn't cause any problems.
And it saved the older one's life. So
that's where your stem cells are, isn't it? In your bone marrow, and that's if you have some sort of stem cell
embryos. They banned it from embryos.
Well, I've heard that they tried to get them from embryos, but I don't know.
Well, some countries do still allow it, and it can save lives.
That's true. But there's also been another big story this week with some scientists in Russia have been researching like the human body clock and how long.
Oh, what they've been researching on?
Well, that's a good question.
Boris's House of Doom.
But they've discovered that they believe that a human body can actually live for up to 190 years if it is treated correctly. And
it can be unlimited. I mean, if you think stem cells, we could just keep rejuvenating ourselves if we worked out the program on how to do it. I mean, another thing the Russians did, have you ever heard of the human Z? Which is like a chimpanzee and human hybrid.
Oh, well,
yes,
did it work? Have you heard of this?
It was amazing. It was like clever as a human, but nimble as a chimp.
I
saw that they taught a chimp sign language once.
Oh no, they do that.
Yeah, that's quite common.
I think that's pretty impressive.
I still love the bonobo when it was asked to come up with a name for a sprout, and it came up with rubbish lettuce. That is super.
Bonobos are one of only 3 species on the planet that have sex for pleasure.
Really?
Dolphins
and humans, yeah.
How do you know that? I mean, the dog. You're saying a dog's don't look like they're having There was a guy done for sexually assaulting a dolphin in Wales once. He said it was all right. It was the way the dolphin was clinging on to him as they swam around, but it didn't. He told it to the judge, and the judge didn't believe him. Said he was sexually assaulting a dolphin in Wales.
Yeah,
he was regularly going out. Anyway, we've drifted away to a different mystery. So what else have you learned? Is it going to happen? Are we going to?
I hope not. It's kind of scary, isn't it? I don't like the idea of people living forever, and I don't like the idea.
I think this is going to become. The dark web will be full of people selling babies, and
well, of course, in China, with executed prisoners, they harvest organs to order.
But if they're you don't want to end up with like a murderer's heart or something, do you?
I'd rather than be dead.
But, you reckon?
Mind you, sometimes people's personality changes.
Would you accept a heart donation from a murderer? I'm not sure I would.
If I was able to personally remove Axel Rudakubana's heart and then put it in my chest in some sort of macabre...
You heard about that story about that guy that was in a plane crash with his wife, and the pilot died in the crash, and then he was given an organ from the pilot, and after that he had this thing, he kept having dreams about having intimate contact with his wife in places that never happened. Anyway, he later learned that she was having an affair with the pilot.
Whoa.
That is a mystery.
Well, they do say that your heart is part of it, isn't it? Like when you go through a breakup, you can feel the heart, you know, there is a pain in your heart. And when someone grieves, someone like often a woman will die a couple of days after, or the other way around, after their spouse dies when they're 80 odd. And it's an official thing now, a broken
I believe
heart.
swans die of heartbreak.
And the other interesting about the heart...
They mate for life.
It's very scientific.
Well, they mate for life.
They mate for life. I mean, they must be knackered all the time.
It's a literal heartbreak, and they die.
What's interesting? The heart. The mystery about the heart is that
it's actually one single piece.
It's one single piece.
It's not multiple things. It's one single muscle that's sort of wrapped around.
And it doesn't get cancer. There's no such thing.
I did not know that.
As heart cancer. So why? Bit of more mystery music. Why is it that
together we can solve a mystery?
Why does the heart not go? I know recently they looked at some bacteria in Japan and they put it in and it basically goes into cancer cells and it enables our system. You know, what's it called? The
immune system.
The immune system goes to kill the bacteria.
Yeah. So what they did was
kills the tumour.
They got some dart frogs. They got some bacteria from the dart frogs, injected it into humans, and it began eating the cancer. So it infected the cancer. But then, of course, because cancer, the problem is with cancer, the reason it grows, is that your immune system doesn't recognise it as a foreign body.
I think they're worried that there's something musical to the desk.
One thing about
it's just on here. No, it's on here. It's in planet.
It's on my phone.
They were all over the mixing desk going, where's this sound coming from? We're all panicking in the control room.
So basically, your actual body recognises the bacteria as being a foreign body. I've turned it off now. They've not given it. So,
and attacks it.
I read about a guy who he was a surgeon and he was doing a surgery on a tumour and he was cutting it out. And while he was cutting it out, his scalpel slipped and he cut himself. And the cells from the tumour transferred to him.
What?
And he ended up getting the cancer in his hand.
I can believe that.
There's a tumour called
That's real.
Okay, I want to see some links.
I'll send you the info.
There's a tumour called something like Horribilis something, and it actually develops teeth. It can develop teeth.
Oh yeah.
And when you poke it,
it grows hair.
It'll bite you.
Yeah.
So it's literally another living form in a cancer in your. It's a very rare one.
But sometimes it happens where you're born with like a hidden twin inside of you that you sucked up.
I know someone that happened to who was born with his twin in between his buttocks.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, the embryo was the fetus in his buttocks.
It happens.
His twin brother.
Oh.
In his buttocks.
Oh.
So, anything else
if you went to the toilet, you'd...
Well, no, they found it when he was given birth. They go, it's two boys, but one's not really developed much. But
he's connected.
He's connected.
But actually, that would raise serious ethical questions because if the baby was alive, what you'd have to do is disconnect it and try and keep it alive, even though it's like an inch.
I think they did a surgery on like some conjoined goats or something, and they successfully detached them.
They do that with Siamese twins. Yeah,
there you go. Maybe they'll be able to do that.
I think conjoined twins are no longer called that.
Conjoined. Oh, you're not allowed to call them.
Yeah, I think it's on the Ofcom ban list.
I didn't know that.
Is that so?
I think so.
I thought that was.
Don't worry about it.
Dragging it back to the
conjoined apologies to any people listening out there.
Just say.
But the reason is very simple. The first example of conjoined twins that most people had seen happened to be from Siam. Modern day Thailand. That's it. That's the only. So people thought in like Thai people genetically that's how they were twins.
Something that made me think of this transhumanism thing the other day, a few months ago now, was Martin O'Neill on TalkSport. He had just won the Scottish Premier League with Celtic, obviously in a very nail-biting last day, final day finish. Celtic pinched the title from Hearts. But afterwards, Martin O'Neill was talking about how, obviously he's quite old now, he's probably in his 70s, but it had been a while since he'd been working in football. And he said when he was in the dressing room with all of the young people, it was actually, he felt a different kind of energy and it was a real boost.
Yes, I can believe that.
So, you never know.
I can believe that. But you know, there was an experiment where they, just really simple experiment, where instead of sending kids to nursery, they sent them to an old people's home. And apparently first of all, the children developed more, and the old people stayed. And the reason is
stayed sharp.
Because you think about it, the child is going to give you energy, and the older person is going to teach them more stuff. And I thought, and so the older people, their mental health improved. The kids had a great time.
That's brilliant, though. I love old people, and we don't have to do any of the blood donating adrenochrome.
But this is where Asian families get it right. Where actually we are very obsessed with all living on our own. It's part of our culture to move out of your house. But actually, a lot of people that I know who are Asian might have 3 generations living in the same house. But of course, what that means is one of my mates has never had a key to his own door. The reason is because there's just always
they hate him
because there's just always someone in, right? And there's always food in the fridge because someone's always cooking. And if you go, oh, who's going to pick up the kids early from school? There's always somebody to do it. You know, there's always somebody.
There's probably pros and cons to that. Like.
Well, for us, the big con is that we don't like living in multi-generational family units, do we? We don't. If you get married to either of you've got partners, if you get married tomorrow, the idea of living with the in-laws is considered so bad it's comical.
Yeah, I mean, also, you know, I think we're living at home. I think even now, given but like even with the economic
I mean, everyone lives at home, right?
Correct.
but even when you're living with your parents now, you still get a kind of look, don't you? A bit.
I'm not sure I do. I get along with my family. We're all
No. What I mean is other people's reactions.
Oh,
to
I don't know.
What? Are you still living at home?
Yeah.
But your house, but I got told your house is massive.
Yeah, that makes things slightly
stately home.
Maybe.
Yeah, stately home.
Yeah.
I live in the
You
East
don't live at home, do you?
No, I live with my partner.
Oh.
Oh, lucky you.
It's nice.
Oh. Fight.
No, we're not bickering again. Not tonight.
But
you actually agreed with each
But
other.
before I did move out, I would always get like a kind of look from people, oh, you would still live at home.
Yeah.
Like that. You haven't
But actually, if that were true, then if you and your partner had kids in the fullness of time, presumably you will, if you were living with the grandparents, then actually those children would develop better and do better at school as a result.
And
so
I always used to see my grandparents quite often when I was growing up, and I
so we joke about it, but I mean, our culture is not to live, 15 to a house.
Yeah.
But if you do that, there are advantages to it. The disadvantage being privacy, which you just don't have any of.
I think people brought up. I've got a mate. He's like maybe your age or something, maybe a bit older, but his parents are much older. His dad's like what my dad's, you know what I mean? And actually, he's very well balanced. And I think older parents can make good parents because they have standards and they're not under pressure like young parents don't know what.
If they've done it before as well, they sort of,
No, I don't think they have done it. Maybe I don't think they have.
Goodness me, I hadn't realised this. The White House Correspondents' Dinner is happening right now.
Oh my God!
You know the one that was stopped due to violence.
We were going to go, but we had to do the mystery department.
So in terms of the transhumanism, do we think it's going to happen?
I think it's happening. It's ongoing, and it's a thing supposedly within the upper levels of society.
It's just going to get more and more people are going to be more and more connected to the internet, to the cyborgs, to the information, to the technology.
It may have already been worked out, and they keep it secret.
Well, that's another thing. But also one thing that we should say is that there have been experiments done where they have taken the blood of a young mouse out of a young mouse's body and injected it into an older mouse, and the older mouse has regenerated. So there is some science.
There's something to it.
I remember we had J.R. Ewing on the show about 15 years ago from Dallas, and he was an alcoholic, and he just had an 8-year-old. It was an 8-year-old's liver transplanted, and he was going, yeah, it's great, I've got a whole lifetime of drinking ahead of me. But he didn't. He died about 5 years later.
Right.
He was a lovely bloke, J.R. Ewing. Cliff Barnes wouldn't agree with me,
that's the thing. It catches up with all of us eventually. You can try to live forever, but the nature of us is we expire.
I think there is one thing, and I would say this as having had a parent who died from cancer. I think the one problem that you've got is we are only as strong as our weakest components. So what will happen to what will happen to everyone, almost everyone, is that basically you could have lived another 10 years had it not been for your lungs going or your heart's going or whatever. And so I think, when you're saying we are growing, say, a new heart for you, I'm kind of okay with that. I think the idea of just everlasting life, I think I'm less keen on.
But pursuing these sorts of things, I think pursuing these sorts of impossible ideas, whether it's living forever or whatever, look throughout history at the people who've tried to achieve these sorts of things. Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China, He was
he had a nightmare,
He was
didn't he?
drinking
Yeah.
elixirs of mercury to live forever, and obviously it killed him sooner, and it just doesn't.
Yeah, Michael Jackson was trying to achieve a forever...
Looks maxing,
Steve Jobs didn't rely on medical, he believed in the, and then it cost him, he tried to go back to technological science, but he didn't, and for a man who's of the science world to not accept science and go for that California, hippie...
You can go mad pursuing these things.
But there was a scientist who did say quite recently, I forget her name, but she was saying that she believed the first person to live to 200 had already been born.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
right. And now we're seeing from this research in Russia that is actually a physical possibility.
But I met this old woman once in A&E when I had a kidney stone, and she was old, and she was about 93, and I chatted to her all night, and I said to her, we were talking about life, I said, what's the, do you get fed up with life? And she goes, yes. And I said, what's the best age that you want to go? She went, 87. She was very precise. And, I
remember
so people get sick of life.
That's so weird you said that, because that's literally what my grandmother used to say. She said she wanted to, well, she expected to die at 86, and she's now 94, and she's still alive.
And does she regret? Does she think, I wish I died at 86?
Doesn't 86 mean complimentary in America?
I don't know.
But I thought. I mean, there's I remember meeting these people in this old people's home. Well, like we're on the campaign trail, and this old lady was.
You got in trouble for that the other day, yeah.
This old lady.
Paula in Halifax will be annoyed with you again now.
Oh my God!
No.
Oh my God!
So what happened with this old lady?
This old lady was
lovely old lady.
This old lady was sat there, and she was going, I'm 102, and this mad old git was sat with her, and he's going, my grandmother lived to 103. She went, 103, that's amazing. And I thought, she's literally talking about it being amazing to be alive in 6 months. And you think, how must that feel?
Yeah, the thing is, when you think about it, you're that age, 1 year is 1% of your life.
Yeah.
And adding that extra, it takes a lot.
Not a lot.
It's effort.
But what is interesting is these billionaires, this for transhumanism thing, it's more of a young person's game in the sense that they aren't in their late 80s.
No,
they're all in their middle-aged or less than that.
They're trying to salvage something that's not there.
They're panicking.
Grasping at straw. It's because they're very rich. They're thinking, I can't spend all this money in my normal lifetime.
Oh my God! Right, we've got to go off this. We've got to say goodbye to UF Pros and go to Ask Asher because it's 24 minutes past.
Well, thanks, guys. That's the mystery department. Thanks for that. What are you doing next week?
Oh, we don't know yet.
We don't know.
More UFO files.
I'm going to broadcast in via the satellites because I'm in Spain. I'm in Valencia.
Well, that is Joe and Matt from the mystery department. That was, what was it called? Transhumanism?
Transhumanism.
Very mysterious, but we've got all the answers now, so it's not a mystery anymore. But ask Ash after the break. Any questions? Health, cooking? I'm not qualified, so don't believe whatever I say, but it's much cheaper and there's no waiting time. So it's Andre and Ash on Talk, and we'll be back. 0344 499 1000 for any advice. Back after this.
Oh.
across the UK. On DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Right, yeah, it's Talk. Andre's gone for a little wander, do a security run. It's Ask Ash on Talk. Let's go to Alison in County Antrim. Morning, Alison.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you? Top of the morning to you, literally.
Sorry?
Top of the morning.
Top of the morning to you.
So what's up? Do you need some advice?
Not really some advice, but I was wanting to talk about Axel Rudakubana, if I pronounced his name correctly.
Yeah.
Well, I think you said earlier in the programme that you were in favour of the death penalty for him. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
We all agreed on that.
Me too. I just wanted to say that.
Well, I mean, I think the death penalty, I think we should have a new threshold in law, instead of beyond reasonable doubt, 100% proven. Like, you wouldn't be able to hang Lucy Letby because it's not, it's not 100% proven, but some Axel Rudakubana, obviously caught red-handed, people like the guy that killed Lee Rigby, where you definitely know Harold Shipman. Why not?
Yeah.
And then there won't be any miscarriages if it's 100% proven in that new threshold that the court would have. I
agree, yeah, definitely. I think the time has more than come to consider this.
Well, we did have a high trust society, but we haven't got that anymore, so we don't really have the luxury of tolerance anymore. We have to be a bit intolerant to things to get society back on track.
Yeah. I just question that guy's upbringing, and when you think back to, when you consider that he was, I think he was expelled from high school.
Yeah, I mean, he brought a knife in, didn't he? Or a cricket. He brought a weapon in, and his father, it was horrendous, how it led to this. He was on the prevent list as well, the authorities were watching him, and then they weren't watching him, and this often is the case, isn't it?
Yeah. It just shows you, though, how easily bluffed the system is if you are that kind of person.
Well, exactly, and also you can see why people are saying he's pulled a fast one to get into Broadmoor. You can easily, with the people you can imagine who've been through university in the last 10 to 20 years, who are now psychiatrists falling for the bunkum. Oh, yeah, he's definitely got this, he said this, he said that, all the points that you need to say that he will have found out, and there you go. Easy to do.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say that I agree with you anyway on that one.
Thanks, Alison. Let's go to Cindy in Michigan. Howdy doody. It's still Friday where you are, isn't it? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Saturday, Saturday, man. So what's happening, man, in Michigan? What is it about 6:30, 7:30 or something?
It's about 7:30.
So what's going on, man?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to talk about Rudakubana. I wanted to say that I think that he's a waste of space, a waste of time, and I don't think anyone is going to learn anything from someone who's got that manipulative bug in them. Like, what you're gonna then the scientists or psychiatrists are going to waste their time thinking, well, which part of what he's saying is true and which isn't, and then they're going to go back and forth with him. This has happened before with criminals like Ted Bundy and, people like that. You don't really end up learning much because they're manipulators. Do
the forensic people learn about stuff when they interview them? Because they always do the interviews, don't they, of these serial killers and people like that, and they say they do find out things. I mean, they must, they do have these forensic people who over years will study and find common denominators between people that do this sort of thing. Like, they often serial killers start off killing animals and stuff like that. They find out things. And also brain scans. Can you see something in the development of the brain or the frontal lobes or whatever? Scientists can look at that. But as our earlier guest, Dr. Raj Prasad said, often you don't see any differences. So
yeah, and I'd rather see him dead. I mean, it takes a very special and not in a good way type of individual to kill children. You know, you look at those sweet faces and you think, oh, how
it's just hard to even read
anyone?
It's hard to understand it and comprehend it, and just look at the story is horrendous. Anyway, thanks for calling us. Carol says, in Pembrokeshire, ask Ash, can you explain the rules of a box junction, please? Yeah, a lot of people, this is the yellow crisscross. You can't enter the box junction going straight on until the car has gone, the back of the car from before has gone over. But if, however, you are turning right, you can enter the box junction and wait in the box junction. A lot of people get that wrong. Another thing, when you're turning right at a traffic light, go in front of the car. A lot of cars come behind the cars, and then you cause a traffic jam and no one can go. So always go in front of the cars unless it says otherwise. But box junction, if you're turning right, you can enter the box junction, and hope that helps you out and saves a few, but not turning left or straight on. So that's box junction advice. And anyway, we're going to come back with... by the way, people are asking about Janice. Can we ring Janice and find out if she's all right? Our old caller. We'll give her a ring. She'll be on the system. We'll find out, Janice. But we're going to be with Georgina, the great Georgina in London next. Burnham is wasting money on number 10 North. She's right, isn't she? 0344 499 1000. We'll be with Georgina after this.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Yeah, it's Talk. Andre and Ash. Andre's popped out just to have a walk round, stretch his legs a bit. So anyway, let's go to Georgina in London. Georgina.
Good morning, Ash. I hope you're well. I just wanted to ring and just say a few things that I feel about the government that's just come into sitting, if I may. I know I'll probably bore you to death.
No, we love you, Georgina. Everyone, you know, you do a great spiel from the heart.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
You should be our Prime Minister.
Oh, bless your heart.
Anyway, away you go.
Well, I think it's a smack in the face for us when Auntie Burnham gives us a measly 86p off our VAT on our electricity bill, puts a cap on bus fares, saying he wants to save money, and then he takes flights to work that cost £30,000. It doesn't matter, Ash, where Burnham wants to be based, as it won't make any difference to his leftist policies or the way that our country is going to be run. It's just more expense to the taxpayer for the relocation, but it isn't a worry for them because we're the ones that foot the bill. It seems to me that we're working to keep this government in a style to which they have become accustomed instead of them working for us and our country. I mean, looking at the motley crew that now sits on the front bench, it fills me with dread
as what we have to look forward to in the coming months. I mean, we've got an unelected Prime Minister with no mandate. We've got Joe White, our new Immigration Minister, who really isn't interested in stopping the boats or immigration. We have a Housing Secretary who's failed to pay her taxes. We have an Education Secretary who called the horrific exploitation of our children with regard to grooming gangs a dog whistle, and a Deputy Prime Minister that was convicted of fraud. And these are the people who are going to represent us on the global stage. It's abhorrent. These people are being allowed to actively eradicate our Britishness and our history, and we are allowing them to do so. They've changed the demographics.
Is it our fault then? You know what I mean? I mean, they're doing it, and we do have a democracy. Can we do anything about it, or do you think it's gone so bad that we don't really have a democracy, do we?
No,
It's sort of smoke and mirrors.
Ash, we haven't had democracy for many years. We've had the illusion of democracy, and that these people have changed the demographic of what being British actually means.
Yeah.
And it isn't for the greater good. So I think that the geography of the headquarters of this gaggle of rabble is the least of our worries. You know, it's this consecutive Labour government that's causing the division and social destabilisation in our country, and it's going to continue to decay until we have a change of government. It's come to something when individuals with such tarnished personal backgrounds can sit in Westminster with their holier-than-thou attitudes, Ash.
Yeah, convicted fraudster, the woman that nicked the phones, just a criminal. I mean, it's blatant, isn't it? And then you got a no-brainer Rayner, who won't give back the 17 grand. No, I won't give that back, she said. You know, I had a year off work. It's my right to have this 17,000. And, you know, she did all this, you know, when Boris Johnson went, she said, oh, we've got to have a general election. But it's not the same way round when Starmer resigned. You haven't got to have a general election then, have we? They're so hypocritical, but they're now so confident, and they're right to be confident. They're rubbing it in our faces. Yes, but do you think the only thing that's going to cure this is a massive financial collapse or something big event that is just going to make things just tumble over? Because they're just going to keep going, a bit like Edward Heath in the 70s.
Well, you know, we're so much in debt now, Ash. It's terrifying. You know, it's hundreds of billions of pounds that Britain is in debt.
150 billion a year just in interest. That's just the interest, just to keep us at the same level of debt we're at. 150 billion a year.
But the government don't have any money. They're using our money to do this.
Well, they're borrowing it,
But the other thing as well, you know, it's come to something when these people can get into these very high-ranking positions, making the important decisions on how our country is run and how we are to live our lives. You know, when the reality is that any decent, hard-working, tax-paying, law-abiding individual would be residing at His Majesty's pleasure, and I don't mean Buckingham Palace, if they'd done any of the unlawful acts that people who are sitting in our government have done at the moment. It's so ridiculous.
Well, there's no accountability, you know, there's no resignations, there's no honour, so it's just a gravy train for them to be pigs at the trough and fill their boots while they're there for the few years, and they don't care about us and the good of the country. They have no loyalty to this country. They just want to, as I say, fill their own boots while they're in.
That's what they're doing. They've got a horrendous entitlement when they get into office. It's a case of, I'm all right, Jack. They don't care about the British people, Ash, and that's the truth of it. And we do need... I think we're going to get a snap election from Andy Burnham because he feels now, with his little carrots that he's dangling in front of the population, that that's going to get him the vote. And he wants to call a snap election because he knows that, you know, Reform are at the weakest at the moment. So
it's the only chance. I mean, people are stupid, aren't they? Because they sort of go, oh, yeah, they're all happy and smiling and going... Did you see his cabinet, all this whipped-up sort of, like, Blair hysteria and Obama hysteria, and he's nobody. He's like, what is he? You know what I mean? I look at him as sort of like the mayor of Britain. He's coming up with mayoral things like £2 bus fares and buses and, you know, looking at... I mean, the pub thing is quite good, but he's not really looking at the bigger situation. He should be giving less rates to the whole of British business so they can boost the economy, pay more taxes and, you know, bring this country back up again. Well, I mean, the net zero thing is the one thing that... But it's probably... I don't know, is it going to work? It's going to take a year to get it all going again.
Well, it's illegal migration that's the biggest thorn in Britain's side, and he hasn't mentioned it. And I don't know for the reason why he hasn't mentioned it.
Well, we know why, because he's going to ignore it and just carry it on. That's what they want. And these are future Labour voters. This is, of course, what they like to do, gerrymander the elections. They want 16-year-olds to vote. They try to cancel elections. I mean, it's somebody they try to cancel. Well, they did cancel Brexit, effectively. I mean, you know, and it's right in our faces is what I'm saying. And when you look at the 80s, just bringing in the poll tax causes civil disturbance, and now it seems that we don't do anything. I don't know whether we're cowed or what's happened, but the British...
No.
But I think it's just too fragmented.
Well, the British people are not cowards, you know.
No, not cowards, but they've been, you know, with this putting people in prison and tweeting. Yeah, well, exactly, yeah.
The British people are terrified of making their thoughts and feelings known for the sake that they will be incarcerated if they speak the truth. And I watch this new ministerial lot on the front bench now, and they're all sat there smiling, but I think to myself, you know, you've got to be careful when people smile, because an animal smiles at you and the next thing you know, they bite you. And I'm waiting for the bite, Ash, I really
Of course, they're virtue signallers. I mean, you look at Mamdani, he's always smiling, even when he's talking about bad things. I mean, this is how the virtue signallers cover up their evil. They're smiling all the time. So they're going, look, I'm a nice person because I'm smiling while they're talking about horrendous things and horrendous policies.
Well, they don't care, us, because they don't have to live the life of the ordinary British people. They've got their homes. They're living in their gated...
You never get fired in this day and age. I mean, even if you do, like, what's no-brainer Rainey, you get another job a few months down the line.
And a payout that she doesn't
Well, you get a payout, so you're actually in better off position. Yeah.
You know, I think £17,000 would go a long way.
Plus the tax evasion, avoiding. Well, what is it? The 40 grand, she still hasn't paid it back.
It's criminal.
Well, literally.
This is criminal, literally criminal. And if anyone, a normal tax-paying individual, did what this government have done, you know, the non-tax-paying and the fraud committal and all the rest of it, they'd be incarcerated, they'd be in prison. So I don't know what these people are actually doing in government. I think it's an absolute abhorrence. I really do. And I don't think that the majority of them should be sat. And Andy Burnham, you know, where's this man come from?
Well, it's because we've got such low-quality politicians that he's just one from the old-school Blair, who was pretty useless then, but they see him as sort of this, you know, messiah because he's from that old lot. And the rest of the old lot all left when Corbyn was in because they saw the writing was on the wall, but he stayed in, and he's sometimes... It's a bit like the Hare and the Tortoise. He's the only one left, so he gets the... Well, that's not really the Hare, but he's the only one left, isn't he? So he's got the gravitas. They couldn't find a leader. Out of all the 400 MPs, they had to just get him to quit from being mayor and run for an MP to get someone of quality, and that's happened on both sides of the Uniparty. There's no good quality politicians anymore for some reason.
Well, I think if we're scraping that deeply in the bottom of the barrel, I really do think that we need to have a really good rethink. People need to make the voices heard. We do need an election. We can't go on this way. The country, you can't recognise it from what it was 50 years ago, 60 years ago. It's a totally different country. You know, it's more third world now than first world. And it's terrifying. You know, a lot of people don't want to go out. People are being stabbed, raped, attacked, you know, because... And if you're born white now, you know, that holds you back.
And if you say anything about it, you know, that's you're in trouble for pointing it out. Anyway, thanks, Georgina. We've got to go to a break. But before that, I've got something to announce. But let's have a music bed. We've got Graham, who's the British Bob Dylan and show troubadour. Hi, Graham.
Hello, how you doing? Okay.
All right, and I need to do a read. Can you play one of your nice tunes? What's it going to be about tonight?
Here we go. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm the ghost who I'm haunted here. Oh, so let's rock and roll.
Step aside, Doctor Who. This man insists he's journeyed through time and has a snapshot to prove it. A bizarre video features the self-styled time traveller, his face hidden from view, meeting with a reporter at a secret location to spill the beans, explain about secret technologies and humanity's fate in the year 6000.
3 months to Halloween. I'm a poltergeist. I'm rocking a...
The unidentified informant, speaking through a voice distorter, claims to have been involved in a hush-hush project during the 1990s which sent people into the future.
Oh, yes, I'm haunting. 3 months to Halloween. I'm an entity. Ooh, right.
He claims that breakthroughs in medicine, governance and novel technology will make our current life seem primitive and that mankind coexists peacefully under the watchful eye of a benevolent AI ruler. He explains, I know a lot of you are going to find my story extremely hard to believe, and I don't blame you. If I was watching somebody claim these same things, I myself would mostly likely not believe them.
I'm a ghost of terror. It's 3 months to Halloween. Here comes the spirit. Here comes the ghost.
Is it 3 months of Halloween? It's not my intention to deceive anybody. I simply want to spread a message about the future of humanity and where the world is heading. Whether you accept his claim or not, you won't need to wait long.
Oh, I'm a scary, scary ghost. So call me now. I'll call the Ghostbusters.
It's like the Prodigy, isn't it? He insists time travel will become widespread knowledge by 2028.
I'm a visible vapor. Ooh, I'm on you.
And anyway, we're going to take a little break. Leave you with the sounds of Graham.
Ghost of Elvis Presley.
And we'll be back after this.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Okay, well, that was slightly strange, as is this camera angle. There we go. Hey!
Oh, seasick. Ooh. It's like Star Trek. Do you remember when they used to do that?
Do you remember when sometimes they ran the wrong way in the outtakes?
Yeah.
Okay, we've got Ken in London. Ken, you on Talk?
Morning, gentlemen.
Oh, sorry.
Morning.
I was listening to you speaking earlier there after 12 o'clock, and I thought I had mistakenly entered into the conversation of an atheistic church.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I have to say to you, I believe that death is an important part of life.
Well, we've all got a death day. We've got a birthday. We've all got a death day. Listen is what the Bible says.
Yes.
It is appointed unto man to die. You and I, everyone listening to the show, you have got ahead of you a death day. One day we're all going to die. This is what the Bible says.
Well, break it to me gently.
It is appointed unto men, that's all people, to die once. But after this, the judgment. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. The religion of fools is atheism.
Do you worry? Do you worry? Do you worry? So obviously there is an ability to massively extend your life beyond its natural period. Some of that is medicine, so I do agree with curing cancer for children and things like that. But this idea of some billionaire living to 200, I'm worried about it. I don't think it's a good thing.
Don't you think it's just a medical intervention, though? Like when they fixed your heart, Ken, isn't it just another extension of that?
Listen, to try and extend your life, or some people getting their head frozen. In America, these wealthy men have got their head frozen. They hope that sometime in the future they'll be able to be...
Methuselah lived to 930, Ken.
Listen,
and Noah lived to 930. It was very clean air back then.
Ash, people who believe like that, God calls them fools. I don't call them fools.
That was in the Bible, Ken. You're denying the Bible.
What did you say?
Well, Noah lived to 930.
Well, of course, yeah, that was different. That was a different.
Well,
that was a.
What's the
that
difference?
When mankind was
Well, how come
created.
they're allowed to have a nice long life?
That's a different period of life. Life was extended then.
No, I think the answer. No, I think the correct answer there. I think the correct answer to all of this is very, very simple. It's not the job of medical professionals to keep you alive beyond your natural lifespan. What it's the job of them to do is, A, to ensure you get to your natural lifespan, so no infectious disease cuts your life short, but also it's about quality of life. So obviously, the reason that you put a cast on somebody's arm is not to keep them alive for longer. It's to make their arm usable throughout their entire life. I think that is the point. And then when you're talking about Noah, if God wishes to extend your life beyond what is considered normal, then God will do that.
Andre, listen to this. The Bible clearly tells us there's life after human death. There is life after death. Those who repent, believe in Jesus Christ, get to heaven forever. Those who reject Jesus, mock Jesus, forever end up in hell, eternal death. There's eternal life and eternal death. No oblivion. It's alive in hell where the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. So waking up, everybody.
So can I ask you this question, Ken? Well, let me ask you two questions. I know which question what you're gonna say. I think that you would say with Axel Rudakubana that he can be executed, but if he repents in the moment before his execution, he will go to heaven. And you can talk about that for a second. But the next thing is, if you were to go to hell, is there a point at which you can be forgiven even though you're in hell? Can you repent in hell?
Yes.
No chance.
Why not, Ken? Why, the Lord is merciful. If you behave in hell, why won't he put you in heaven?
Listen, God is merciful while we're alive. Once you die, you've set your eternity.
That's not fair, though, is it, Ken? Because you got a message, didn't you, directly into your head? We haven't had that luxury.
Listen, I'm giving you a
two-tier religion system.
You're not listening to the message I'm giving you from God. Never mind. Forget me. What does God say? God says, except...
Yeah, but you're the vessel of God.
God says to every Jew, every Gentile, except you repent, you shall all likewise perish. Now, repent there means to turn from unbelief to turn to belief in Jesus Christ the Messiah. If we refuse to turn to believe
so if you don't believe me, you can burn in hell. That's not very nice.
That's where you're headed right now, Ash. You're on the highway to hell.
Now, on Axel Rudakubana, am I right in saying that he should be punished on earth for his crimes, and then if he seeks forgiveness, he will go to heaven like anybody else?
Yeah, but you can't fool God with repentance. God knows our heart.
No, I get that. So actually, to be clear, you believe that Axel Rudakubana may offer some act of repentance, but you do not believe the sincerity of it, but you know that God would know the sincerity.
Well, he doesn't believe in Jesus Christ, the Son of God. He can't be forgiven. If you don't believe Jesus is the Son of God, you go to hell. This man's a Muslim, isn't he?
I think. Well, he apparently goes to mosque in Belmarsh, or he did.
Listen to this. This is the truth. Every practicing Muslim who refuses to believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God, every practicing Jew who refuses to believe Jesus is the Son of God, goes straight to hell when they die.
What about a non-practicing Jew? Would I be all right?
Non-practicing Jew like you and Ash.
Damn.
I hope you don't go to hell. I told you for over 29 years, don't go to hell. Don't go to hell. Jesus died for you, man.
And just to be clear to everyone, Ken is a Christian, and we completely allow him to say what he says. But obviously, I think it's reasonable to point out that not everybody in this building believes all Jews go to hell. Anyway,
of course you don't. Of course you don't. It's in the Bible. Most people are going to hell. Most people are going to.
Well, let's speak to someone who you probably think's going to go to hell. Let's talk to Yasmin. Yasmin, you're with us and Ken.
Hi.
Hello, Yasmin. Hello, Yasmin.
Hi, Ken. I was just listening to everybody talking about religion and
earwicking, were we? Earwicking, yeah.
I definitely was.
Yeah.
What I feel is that the Christianity has been going for about 2,000 years.
It's had a good run.
Paganism has been since the Neolithic time.
Yeah, but it's not really that doing that well, is it, compared to... It hasn't got its own TV show, has it, like Christianity has?
Yeah, but actually... you'd be surprised how many people who are pagan go to churches just to fit in with the village that they live in. Also...
But that's completely insincere, though, isn't it?
No, but that does happen, and
I get
know
that.
people who do that. Also, I'd just like to say, and this is the most important thing, I don't care whatever religion you are, as long as you don't subjugate people for it. But
Yasmin,
we all need peace.
But that is a big difference between Ken and the Ayatollah Khomeini, because Ken is going out and saying, I have read the Bible and my understanding of God is this. I'm going to help you by telling you what I have learned, the good news, he calls it. The Ayatollah Khomeini says, you will agree with me or I will shoot you. And that is a fundamentally different
So, Ken, you're better than the Ayatollah Khomeini.
Listen, Yasmin, dear Yasmin, I want to tell you this. I love you as a person, but God loves you much more than I do. Yasmin, a witch can be saved. A witch can repent and believe in Jesus, the Son of God, and get to heaven. Yasmin, God wants you to get to heaven, dear friend.
I believe...
Jesus died for you, Yasmin. Jesus died for you. He died for your sins and my sins. But if you don't believe in him, Yasmin, the Bible says you will go to hell. It's in the Bible. I love you, I'm not judging you, but if you refuse, if you want to remain a witch...
Sounds a bit judgy to me, yeah.
You'll end up in hell, Yasmin. Don't go to hell, Yasmin.
Don't go to hell, Yasmin. Anyway, we'll leave Yasmin with the last word on this.
I'd just like to say whatever religion or creed or even if you're atheist...
Well, I've seen that film.
Oh, please,